My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 19, Episode number 4074. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drinking and down. All right, here we go. Pennsylvania roads were not bad enough. Yesterday was a very crappy day.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 2 eagles get their talons entangled, but crows help them fly away. Man soaks his feet in dry ice for 10 hours to try to get insurance money. A country bans musical vehicle horns to keep people from dancing funny. And a woman finds her missing wallet and a huge bag of trash. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right? Baba, Pootie, Binky, and Blanky. Now, are these the new Teletubby characters? No, they are not. Are they the names for baby pandas that are always named something stupid? No, They are not. Baba, Pootie, Binky, and Blanky, those seem to be code names that children tend to give their favorite security objects, right? So it can be a blanket, a pacifier, stuffed animal, even a piece of clothing the kids become passionately attached to. In fact, if the kid leaves it somewhere or it gets lost, well, let's just say it becomes a situation. And it might sound silly, but I assure you that it is a thing. We go to New Hampshire, where an entire community banded together to find Cupcake. Cupcake is a stuffed animal that was accidentally thrown away. They ended up to the waist at a trash dump in the rain to find the damn thing, and found that they did and reunited it with the little girl who lost it. Do you know why, Mike?
Why?
Because it was worth it for her to shut up. That's the honest God truth. Then there's Pup Pup. Pup Pup was accidentally left in a rest stop bathroom in Iowa by its 4-year-old owner. Now, luckily, someone found it, posted a picture on Facebook, and Pup Pup was reunited with the kid. Now, it's not always a happy ending, of course. Sometimes kid loses their stuffed animal or blanket or toy, and it's just gone. And you would think you just broke the world's worst news to them. There are lots of tears for a long time, and with tears, there are boogers. But here's the thing. We all had our own Bob, Pootie, Binky, or Blanky, and if you're a parent, your kids probably have something that they can't be separated from. Hell, some adults I know, they still have, quote-unquote, that thing from childhood that brought them comfort. It's just somewhere in the house because they still can't part with it. And that's what we're talking about today. We want you to think back to your childhood, or if you're a current parent, what your kids were all about, and answer today's question, which simply is, what was your or your kids' comfort item or favorite toy?
To be a part of the Big Show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Home and Charles, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4074. What a large and charged program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Believe it or not, we have a whole new list. We'll update you on some new locations that carry the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewery.
It's unreal, man.
Hot off the presses. And I'm talking this is like hundreds of more locations. Hopefully, if you have not been able to find the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven, we can help you out. I mean,
I got a text from a buddy today about his bar. Just got the handle.
Oh, yeah?
They're getting the keg tomorrow.
We just got a handle on our kegerator.
Yeah, it's only been here a couple weeks.
I know.
We just didn't know.
Yeah. It's all good. But the updated list, a partial list, obviously, KISW.com, but we've got more locations coming up if you haven't tried the beer. On the show today, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve used to bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck to some degree. It's up to us to determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
I think Mike summed it up best when he said, it's annoying. I mean, that's the best way to explain it. These aren't necessarily the worst people in, well... All right, 2 of them are just kind of gross. One of them, the guy's just so stupid. I don't know if I'm mad at him or if I'm just mad that someone could be this dumb. Okay. I think that's the best way to put it.
Okay. And today on the question, we're going to talk about you growing up, your kids growing up, and some of the things that were necessary to either entertain your children or just hold them at bay and make sure that they are comfortable. And the idea is something that's known in the world of psychology as a security object to help you comfort your young ones.
And now, but here's the thing. You may have purchased the thing, but you don't know what it is your kid's going to gravitate to. That ends up becoming super duper important. My son, it was a Superman cape. He's never been a Superman fan in particular, but when he was, God, I don't know, like 2 to 5 years old, basically, it was just this little red cape, Velcro up front. When he got out of bed, the first words out of his mouth, he was like, "Good morning, bud." He's like, "Where's my cape?" Right? And as soon as you put the cape, he could walk around in a diaper. He had to have the cape on. Puts on pajamas to go to bed. He had to have the cape on. All day, he had the cape on. Didn't matter where we went, he had the cape on. And I was okay with that. The one that sucked was my daughter. So she has had different stuffed animals. It is currently her stuffed tapir. I believe that is the one for the long haul. That's the one she'll keep into adulthood. But she used to always have to wear her Disney princess dress. And I don't know what the material is that those things are made out of. But, you know, when your kids are little, nothing feels better than picking them up and hugging them. You couldn't do it in the dress. I'd pick her up, right? And you're
all it's all.
But you're, foop, and she's back on the floor, and I'm just holding this dress, and there she is in her diaper because it's too slippery, man. Seriously, like that thing, it used to piss me off, but she had to wear it. And even if you washed it, because it's like, look, man, you've puked on this, there's blood on it, there's marker, there's paint, all the things the kids put on stuff. Can we please just put it in the washer? And this girl would stand in front of the washing machine for 40 minutes, and it's like, listen, man, we still have to dry it. And she'd stand in front of the dryer for 40 minutes, and as soon as that thing came out, piping hot, instantly back on. And this went on for years.
I was just saying, my big one was my brother and I liked watching reruns of Chips, California Highway Patrol. So remember isotoner gloves?
Yeah, because they had they even put it in the beginning when they kind of revved.
Right, they always revved, and they had, and I think it was Punch had the black gloves.
That's
so
correct.
My mom would get in isotoner gloves. Mike, you wouldn't remember, but like in the 80s, and like they were a big deal. Dan Marino did commercials for them. But we would steal those gloves constantly. Like my mom tells a story. She's like, I caught you in the bathroom. You're still wearing the gloves, but you're peeing.
Right.
But yeah, and then we would, but I loved getting those gloves on. It was like, can I have the gloves? And then you'd sit on the side of the couch where the arm was because it's like a motorcycle.
Of course.
Yeah. You bring up the fact that you don't really pick these items out. It's the same thing as buying a toy for a pet, whether that be a cat, whether that be a dog.
Sure.
Chewy the dog lived to be about 14 years old. And my daughters had, it took 15 minutes to make the frickin' bed because they had a collection of about 10 to 15 stuffed animals.
Did you have to put them back in the order?
Exact same place. They all had to be by their friends. They had to be, the big one had to be in the middle. They had it all figured out.
Trust me, you find this out when the kids, they break down in tears and protest because they're not like, oh my God, okay.
Right. So my dog, after the bed was made, that was one of her favorite sleeping locations, was in a room where nobody was.
Sure.
Up on the bed and kind of submersed. And I have pictures of Chewy amongst the stuffed animals, which would be like, find the real dog.
Right.
That kind of a picture.
All right.
It kind of just has that look to it. So Chewy, she became fond of this cat that was a white cat. It was soft and had, you know, the real looking eyes and all that stuff. And she would take that cat everywhere. When she died with that cat beside her.
Are you serious?
She took that cat. You could not go anywhere. You could not take her for a car ride. You could not go on vacation.
You got to bring the cat.
You had to bring the cat. And the cat's name was Kitty Montgomery. And Kitty Montgomery went everywhere with Chewy. And it didn't matter. That was her comfort thing. She would carry
don't you
around.
have a family member, or isn't there like a famous person named Kitty Montgomery?
Maybe. I don't know.
All right.
We just called her Kitty Montgomery. If you came to our house, Dad, she would run down the steps with that cat in her mouth to show you that was her kitty. And that was her toy. Any other animal that came in the house, the first thing that she did was show the other animal the toy and then run upstairs and hide Kitty Montgomery.
Right, make it clear.
Now, keep in mind, we lost Kitty Montgomery for about a week and a half. Finally found her in the garage. I think it was one of those things where she jumped out of the car in the garage.
Just dropped it.
Put it in a corner, something like that. The last place that we thought to look. You know, it was going to buy some crap for home stuff, you know.
How is the dog doing in this week and a half where she doesn't?
Horrible. We got another cat. It did not. It was almost the exact same.
It does not matter.
We had a backup, all right, for this cat. And she ignored it. Like it did not even exist. We would put it on her bed. We would do all these things. She would pick it up and throw it out. Like, this is not...
It's not kitty.
No. And then when you'd wash the cat, because it would get so dirty because she would take it on walks and everything else, we would throw it in. That cat was restuffed no less than 5 or 6 times, re-sewn up. Whenever the cat was washed, she would lick it dirty and clean the entire thing again. It was the craziest thing that I've ever seen from an animal perspective.
Right.
On just needing this toy and not a human being.
Now, Mike, you said, doesn't your dog have something that she...
Yeah, he's a lamb chop. It's always been his favorite style of toy, style of
Does
doll.
it have to be the same one, though?
It is the exact same one. So
it.
there's a handful of different ones. There's the big one that he's completely gutted out. There's mid-sized one that he's played with and also gutted out. There's a specific one. It's the little one, and it's honestly it's no bigger than just a few inches long, right? And it's just big enough to where the legs are kind of sticking out on either side of his mouth, and there's actually a perfect line as far as the wear of where that thing has been in his mouth. Right. And every time he finishes his breakfast in the morning, he will grab it, he will jump onto either my bed or his bed, and he will start to whine as he buries it.
That's so weird.
That is his first order of business after he finishes his.
Some of the dog toys are too cool, though. Like Marshawn has a fake joint, like a stuffed joint. But I almost steal it all the time. I just like taking pictures with it.
Pick one up at a dog store if you can find it. If I ever see one, I'll buy it for you.
Which would be weird is now I just own a dog toy.
Right.
Where's your dog? I don't know.
It's a photo op, bro.
My oldest daughter, when she was younger, she was very hesitant. She was very tentative. She was not a very adventurous child. You could tell that she was somewhat traumatized. She was scared. I think she realized that I was her dad. But she had a binky, which is, a pacifier.
Yeah.
Now, she chewed on that thing like Pete Carroll chews on gum. Mm-hmm. I mean, that thing was in her mouth, and she'd move it around and chew it and suck on it. You could just see her getting all nervous and worked up, and that's what she needed. But she would also pull it out with her hand. This was before they had the attachments where you could, like, clip it on or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're going to walk, and she'd be in the stroller or whatever the deal is, and oh, no, it's gone. It's under the seat.
We have to find
She's
this freaking
losing
thing.
her mind. Then I would backtrack 200 yards and find this dirty-ass binky on the road, covered in dirt. I'd try my best to. If I needed to give this thing to her to calm her down. You can't exactly dip it in a puddle,
right,
or anything like that, and give it to your kid. But I just give it to her dirty because I figured, look, this is going to solve the problem. And that thing was so hard to break. It was almost like trying to quit cigarettes. She was probably 3 years old, and she still wanted that binky. We were trying to
my daughter
explain
too, man.
Hey, look, like the kids your age, when you go to preschool. They don't have binkies, you lose them all the time. I'm buying 2 packs of these things constantly.
Right.
It didn't really matter which one it was.
She just had to have it. It's like a cigarette. Right.
Yeah.
I need something to.
I barely remember, but I definitely was one of those kids.
I don't know if I had a binky.
I feel like I was old enough that I could walk over to a drawer and start crying.
Right. I remember my daughter, she had until she was 3. And her first kid, man. So talked to the doctor, and the doctor's like, effing relax, dude. She's 3. Right. She said, look, if she's 9 years old and you come rolling in there, there's an issue. She's 3. But the thing is, she wouldn't talk because she just had the thing in her mouth, right? So it was my aunt who told me, she said, listen, I got her to get a sense of this little girl. My aunt turned out she was right. She goes, when she pulls that thing out of her mouth and starts talking, she will never shut up again. And that is proven to be true.
People, the moms of Maryland, so to speak, whenever I had my kid, and wherever we were, go to the Columbia Mall, go to, you name it, she would have this thing in her mouth. And casual conversations, birthday parties, wherever you go. Daughter's got this in. Same thing all the time. When she grows up,
they mess up her teeth.
She's going to have an overbite. Yep. Well, at this point in time, they're baby teeth. Or an underbite. And I'm like, oh, so she'll look like the people from Maryland. Right. And they always just gave me a look. And I'm like, I'm kidding. Right. She needs this thing right now. Everything's going to be fine. Eventually, she did break that habit. I still have 2 of her binkies that I saved.
Really?
Because it was just kind of part of her childhood.
Sure.
Where my other daughter was like, she was nuts. She did not care. Nothing fazed her. She was not affected by anything. She was just one of those, doo-doo-doo, boop-doo-doo kids that just didn't need anything to comfort her. That was really not what she was about. Where my other kid was kind of like, one of those koala bears that kids used to put on their pencils that clings on, right? Wouldn't leave your leg.
I think that has a lot to do with it, though, because as far as being nervous in a social situation, it's more likely that my daughter will be than my son, right? And he had his pacifier I never called it a binky. I'm like, it's a pacifier. You will learn to speak in his home. So he had it for maybe a year. Then he was kind of dumb. My daughter definitely, to this day, more likely to be nervous, held on to it longer. But also, as far as security stuff goes, even like stuffed animals, my son slept with a stuffed animal for a little while. Then he just didn't. But my daughter, she held on longer, and she doesn't really sleep with them, but she still has a bunch in her room. They're in various places, but you can't get rid of them, right? They're not in her bed. She doesn't carry them around, but if you said, hey, maybe we get rid of these, she'll put a knife in.
Even as adults, right? Like, obviously, your phone, I'm not counting the phone because
that's a different thing.
Everything, right? But I feel like I'd speak for all four of us in here. I don't know about you guys, but like when I travel, like I'm so used to wearing a backpack every day to work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I could lose my overnight bag or my carry-on, but like...
Well, your backpack has all your stuff in it.
Yeah, like it has, right. It's got the important stuff. Like I remember being in an airport, coming back from a trip, and my buddy, DB.
Yeah.
He's like, where's your backpack? I'm like, oh, I actually put it up top or whatever. And he's like, are you sure? And I just looked at him. I said, Dan, if that thing's gone, I have a serious issue. Right. But like, even if I go to like last Friday, I knew I wasn't going to go home. So at Black Raven, I just brought my overnight bag, but I felt weird the whole day doing a show.
Have your backpack.
And I was like, it's not back in the office. It's not here. It's not there.
As they say, security objects for young children come in many forms, and we don't know what that's going to be. It's a crapshoot. They're going to pick that on their own. Worn blankets, ancient stuffed animals, bottles, pacifiers, and scraps of linen are among the most common. The names bestowed on these objects usually originate from a baby's earliest attempt to speak. For example, Baba, Pootie, Binky, and Blanky.
What are you trying to say if you say Pootie?
Pootie.
Like Baba, I kind of get. Blanky speaks for itself, but Pootie, I'm like, what is my kid talking about?
They say these objects are used in a variety of ways. The cartoon character Linus has immortalized the blanket over the shoulder, thumb in the mouth person. While Radar of the MASH TV series demonstrates the traditional approach of holding a stuffed animal while going to sleep. Small children may use security objects to hug, twitch, wipe between their upper lip and nose, sniff, to suck on, to rub, whatever. But the loss of a precious Binky or Banky or Pootie can create real distress and ensuing mayhem in the family while everyone engages in a frantic search for this beloved object. Parents have been known to backtrack 100 miles on a trip or to demand that laundromats be opened after hours in hope.
You don't understand. Open the damn laundromat.
The Pootie will be found. Many parents, they say, have no choice in the matter because specific attachments usually occur before the adults are even aware of them. A parent or caregiver may not realize at first that a baby is crying and resisting rest or sleep because a certain blanket or comfort object is not where the child can see or feel it. And these objects can become substitutes for the sense of comfort and security that comes from being held, rocked, or walked, and they provide consistency during a period of rapid change. Holding the security blanket or object allows a child to experience familiar feelings of security and face new, even frightening experiences, such as separation from parents or new experiences that they don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as they have that security item, they feel like that they can get through it.
That's true. Well, my kids, man, anytime they were going to spend a night at a friend's house, or if we weren't going to be with them, hey, man, did you pack pajamas? Like, I don't care. Do you have a sleeping bag? I don't care. They have their stuffed animal. They're ready to go. That's it.
Our question, what was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
Continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
New Hampshire community banded together to find a beloved stuffed animal that ended up in the trash. According to Jake McAlpin, he accidentally threw away his daughter Charlotte's stuffed animal, Cupcake. I said, what are you looking for? And she goes, Cupcake. And somewhere in the back of my head, I was like, oh, is that the stuffed animal I just took to the dump? Charlotte's stepmother, Meredith, said she put a message on Facebook asking if anyone might be able to open the dump. A councilman by the name of Brian Monahan, he saw the post. He says, I got a hold of Dan, sent him a screenshot of what Meredith had written and said, hey, can we go to the dump and find this thing? Well, on Thursday morning in the rain, they went to the dump, using more than just their hands to start digging through the trash. The compactor compacts it very, very tightly. So at one point, Dan had to use the backhoe to actually pull trash out, which tears back open. And my biggest fear, we're going to find it covered in garbage. Well, McAlpin eventually made his way there to help. When I got to the dump and saw what was going on, I honestly didn't think there was a chance in hell we'd find it because there were just so much trash. Monahan's wife was there and she said, I think I see it. She pulled it out, flipped it up to Jake, and stood there waist deep in trash bags and held up the dog, Cupcake. We found it. Dan Conway, the superintendent of the recycling center, said, made us feel pretty good. No one wants to be without their stuffy. And the smile on her face said it all. Charlotte said she washed Cupcake and left her out to dry on the porch when her dad picked her up and threw her away, adding she'll opt to throw her in the dryer now instead.
Do not, look, as a parent, do not throw that stuffed animal away. A couple of quick texts here. Says, my stepdaughter absolutely could not be without her Binky. Well, one night she lost it, and the meltdown that ensued was cataclysmic. We had to pack her up and go to the store to buy a new one. My wife ran into the store. I waited in the car with this screaming 2-year-old. I swear to God, I thought someone was going to call the police thinking I was harming or kidnapping this child. And you have every reason to believe that. When they melt down about losing that thing, it's the equivalent of poking them with hot iron.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So, this is a little bit different than most, I think, but ever since I was a little kid, I've been into music and singing and all that kind of stuff. And so, from the age of about 8 years old on, I would carry around, of all things, the first Collective Soul album. I would carry around the cassette and I would wear it out, and then I'd have to rebuy copies, and it would always be something I would have to have. So
it just had to be on your person.
Yeah, and I would have to be listening to it at least 3 or 4 times a day.
Okay. Now, objectively, as an adult, you go back and you listen to that album again. Do you still like it?
I do, not as much as other ones, but yes, I do.
Okay.
Do you like it because you like the music, or you like it because it just brings back the good memories of being a little kid?
I would say it's a mixture. I mean, I ended up, it's part of what helped me get up on stage and do what I do now, so it's got a special place in my heart because of that.
Okay.
All right. That's fair enough.
I mean,
You're
like
right.
anybody else. You have bands that you really, really like, and bands that, just don't do much for you.
Sure.
That's just one of those bands that's just never done anything for me.
No, I never did it. I don't dislike them.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
It's minutia to me.
We're saying you have weak taste, Cheyenne. That's clearly what we're doing.
I'm not saying that. It was a band at the time where, Candlebox came out about the exact same time.
Yeah.
I think I like Candlebox a lot more than I like Collective Soul.
I'm right there with it.
There was all kinds of just... What's the right way to say this?
It was just kind of like audio styrofoam.
Yeah, Gin Blossoms.
Right.
Toad the Wet Sprockets. They were all in this lump group to me where I just thought, well, it's catchy, it's fine, it's just
not good.
It's just not what I'd rather hear Soundgarden. That was just kind of where I was at.
Sure.
Or Alice in Chains or something like that. What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
Real quick, did anyone here have imaginary friends? I never had imaginary friends, but this guy, Joshua, says, good afternoon, gentlemen. My childhood thing, 2 imaginary people. One was named Gon Gon. The other was named Beep Beep. I played with them for quite a few years. Looking back on it, I probably looked a little bit crazy.
I didn't have imaginary friends.
No.
But I could play in the backyard with like my fake little plastic guns against imaginary enemies.
I mean, I could do that.
Yeah.
But they were not a friend. That was like, he didn't join me for lunch, so to speak.
My imaginary thing was always with sports. So if I'm just shooting hoops.
Oh, yeah, it's always the end zone.
It's always like, there's 5 seconds to go. The game is tied. Michael Jordan's on me. I'm going to make this shot. Or whatever, whoever it was.
Does that
Jordan.
change? It doesn't change.
No,
I'll go
but
there
it's just
shoot
in my
hoops
mind.
But I'll shoot hoops with my kid, right? And trust me, whatever he's saying, I'm playing against Michael Jordan, and this is
You're
the
also
7th game.
6'4". You're not too
I
far
know.
off. You're like a 3 inches difference.
But I mean,
but Jordan's good at hoops.
Yeah, there's a difference.
You're right. They're both tall. They're both black.
You can work on the yellow eyes.
I can work on the yellow eyes. Even if I throw the football with my son, every time I throw him a pass, if he catches it, we just won the Super Bowl. And know the time is running out.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's going on in my.
standard.
And I'm sure he's probably thinking the same thing. But it's like, I don't say anything to him. But like, every
jump
time I throw the ball, I'm like, here we go.
If I jumped my bike, I was Evel Knievel. It was all the same.
Well, no, you have to crash your bike to be Evel Knievel.
Well, that happened a lot, too.
But Miles, you still have to do it to a certain extent.
Who are you on the golf course?
Right, like you play a course where there was a U.S. Open played. Like, you got to sit there sometimes at 18 and be like, you know what? I'm not, what's his name? Not going to 3-putt it.
I think every hole's your 18th hole.
That would be, who did that?
Gretzky's husband.
Oh, yeah, Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
D-Jack, yeah. Well, my thing is, if I shank one... If I shank one...
Wow, she's pretty famous, too, the daughter of Gretzky. And she is amazingly hot. I've been watching the Netflix show on the golfers. Their wives are top notch.
Well, the problem with the course is from from the U.S. Open, they have plaques on the golf course to represent where people did things.
All right.
And they have for a different number of tournaments and things like that.
Do they have one next to 18?
They have one on 18 for Jordan Spieth, as he won the tournament. But he hits a 3-wood, but he hits it 370, 80 yards.
All right.
Onto the green in 2. I can't hit 380 yards in 4 shots. Right. So, there's no way that I can replicate what those guys do out there.
No. I'm just saying, it's got to go through your mind, like you're saying. Like, you're not replicating being Michael Jordan. You're just like, I'm Jordan. It's the last second shot.
Damn right. Yep. Unless I miss. More time on the clock. What do you know?
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
Sometimes I would just run around the house yelling, time out, because I wanted to be Chris Webber.
Oh, damn.
Man.
Damn.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Just sit on that joke for
30 years.
30 years. Take that.
Hello, Nathan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So I'm at work, but I took my lunch break because I absolutely had to call in on this one. I work at the zoo, and you have no idea how many comfort items end up in exhibits. I've had them end up in gorilla exhibits. I've had them end up in sea lion exhibits, and it's always just... I have seen children go missing, not go missing, but get separated from their parents. They don't care, but if they lose some of those things, you think it's the end of the world.
Have you ever seen an animal who picked up one of the toys or tried to give it back? You think feasibly if you threw something and maybe there was not that you guys have seals or dolphins or anything like that, but like a monkey or something and pick something up and...
So, with the seals, that's the main one where if something ends up in there, we have to get it because they're like dogs, man. They see something in their exhibit, they're going to eat it.
Now, what's the time frame on that, right? So I'm there with my kid. My kid drops a teddy bear in the seal exhibit. Are you guys kind of immediately in there to get this thing out of there?
So it's sort of as soon as somebody lets us know. So it's usually we hear the crying from half a mile away, and we're like, oh, somebody's injured. We need to go check up on them. And they're like, oh, I lost my teddy bear in the sea lion exhibit, and then we have to call the keepers because I'm just security. And they got to go try and distract the sea lions while I get a net and try and fish it out. Or we actually have to send someone in there to swim through and grab it. And that water is stupid cold.
How many times do you, in the time that you've been there, about how many times have you seen that where you've had to go into an exhibit to retrieve something?
So I've had to go into the gorilla exhibit, but obviously we put them back inside. But I had to go into the gorilla exhibit, the bear exhibit, the grizzly bear exhibit, and I had to do the sea lion exhibit one time, and that's how I know that water is freezing.
How bad does it smell when you're in the actual, the area where the animals are?
It's horrible. I think the worst one, though, has to be the monkeys. Because because they fling their poop around all that, but like it is just because we have to drop off their food every night so the keepers can feed them the next morning, and it's like getting punched in the face. Like it is horrible.
Yeah, every time I go to the zoo, right? As a kid, you get real excited to go. As an adult, I would get excited to go because my kids were so excited. And Woodland Park, and as soon as I get there, I remember this smells awful, but the worst to me, and it's the National Zoo, the zoo in San Diego, Woodland Park Zoo, the one animal that always seems to smell the worst as far as the poop goes, gorillas, man. I don't know what's going on with it. Like, I mean, elephants jump a ton, and it does not smell good, but there's something about gorilla poop where I'm like, I don't even want to hang out.
Were you at the Woodland Park Zoo?
No, I actually don't live in Seattle anymore. I work out at a Hogle Zoo in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
And you guys have seals and stuff.
Yeah, we've got seals, sea lions, polar bears, all that neat stuff.
Wow, that's a hell of a zoo.
Okay,
man.
now wait. What if somebody drops something in the polar bear exhibit? Do you just tell the kid, like, look, man, it's gone?
That's the nice thing about the polar bear exhibit is it's all glass. Like, there's no way to accidentally drop anything in there. Because that water's freezing cold. That's worse than the sea lions. We have to do a swim in that every year just for training.
How active is your polar bear?
They're pretty, it depends on the time of year and time of day. Like, during the morning, man, he'll go out there and swim backstrokes for like an hour straight. And I'll sit there and watch him just because it's cool.
Does he ever just look at you like, you ever walk in here, I'm going to eat you? Like, has there been any animal you just look at and you're like, that thing hates me?
So we have a male gorilla, and he does not like men, and he especially hates men on the security team because we have certain types of shirts. And, like, he sees that, and he associates it with, like, oh, I have to have, like, a veterinary procedure, so they're going to tranquilize me, and he'll lose his mind. Like, if you lock eyes with him, he'll seriously, like, puff out his chest, all that.
Do you try not to lock eyes with him, then?
Dude, when I have to go in there, I just walk straight. I don't even look at him. Like, I'm like, no, I respect you. I prefer not to have my neck broken, so I'm just going to walk past.
Is he in there alone?
No, he's got a whole little troop in there with him. Like one baby, a few girls. He lives a good life. He lives a really good life.
Would you say it was the orangutan or the gorilla?
Gorilla.
The orangutans are awesome. I like the orangutans.
I'm just going to do some basic math here and think that the Salt Lake City Zoo probably has more children's visitors than any other zoo in the United States. So if I go to D.C. and I go to the National Zoo in D.C.,
correct,
I'm rolling in with 2 kids. In Utah, 2 kids is a minimum. You just got married.
Right.
Life is just getting started. I would have to think there's more kids in that zoo than anywhere else, any other zoo.
Oh, yeah, I swear, man. Like, they'll so, like, not even on field trip days. It'll just be, like, 2 parents with, like, 10 kids. I'm like, dude, what are you doing here, man?
They're doing what they do. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I would think that as far as kids losing stuff, this is the #1 zoo in America.
Probably. Yeah, you said the simple math. If I went to the You're Lost and Found right now, what am I looking at? I'm guessing binkies and stuffed animals mostly.
Binkies, stuffed animals, surprising amount of wallets, man. Like, a lot of people lose their wallet and they usually come back for it, but we've got some that just nobody comes back and gets them. And it's like, how do you not think that, like, I don't know.
If it's got a driver's license in there and everything else you need.
How much time has to pass on a wallet before you guys just pull the cash out?
So we don't pull the cash out, but there was one time the dude lost it or something that had a shot. And the other guard was there, and he gave the dude the wallet. The dude gave him $100.
What?
And I was livid. I was like, dude, I was supposed to give that dude the wallet. That should be my beer money, dude.
Wow. Yeah. Next time, man, make sure you deliver the wallet.
My low alcoholic content beer money.
Yeah.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-RIDE.
I mean, that's the other issue. People don't carry that much cash anymore, so some people probably lose the wallet and just like, screw it, I'll just get a new card.
Get a new card. I won't even say the name of the place, but stop to get food. My wife's like, take the card. I'm like, I have cash. She's like, they don't take cash. I'm like, it drives me crazy when people, look, if you want to make money, however people want to give it to you, in my opinion, should be the way it goes. But what kills me up there, so I grabbed a card, I get my food, it's fine. But they have a tip jar. And there's a couple of ones in there, and I'm like, no, man, that is not how this is. You don't take cash, then you don't take cash. If you do take cash, you do take cash. But I'm not going to just give you cash because you take it in this particular. I tipped him out on the credit card, but I'm just looking at that like, no. I'm not, and I got plenty of ones sitting in my wallet. Like, I'm not giving to see. You don't take cash.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
I'll say on the other end, I was buying some Girl Scout cookies a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, I don't have cash. And they're like, no worries. We have Square. We take card. I was like, oh, okay.
So do the two guys I know who are homeless in my neighborhood.
Say what?
They do.
They have a Square or something?
They have a cube.
They're homeless, but they have a cube.
For their phone.
So you're like, I don't have cash.
Like Cash App or something?
That is...
Not even Venmo. I'm talking about the cube. Not even Venmo. I'm talking about the cube.
That is ridiculous.
Oh, I've seen it happen. I'm just like,
no.
You got to be kidding me.
Now I'm just going to... I don't have my wallet.
Now, one guy occasionally busks, but that's maybe 1 minute a day.
Right. 1 minute a day.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a cube.
Damn, man.
That's living.
Yeah, the Girl Scouts got me and the wife, too, Ted. And because we know the mom. And so she's out there. She's like, hey, we're selling Girl Scout cookies. And we did the whole thing like, oh, damn, I'd love to, but we don't have cash. And it was the girl that piped up. And she already put that thing in her phone. She's like, oh, we can just do it right here on card. And so we bought a couple boxes.
Yep.
Like, fantastic.
So, obviously this time of year, they're outside the grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple weeks ago, it's Friday evening, Girl Scouts got me. Wasn't going to buy any. Still like tag-alongs. But then last Saturday, I don't think I was out of line, but walked by, then I'm just like, no. And as I walk, I don't know how loud I said it, but I was like, you got me last week already.
I know.
like, damn it. Like, I don't want to disappoint these little kids, but like, sorry. I'm like, you feel guilty.
All you do is say, I just bought some.
I just bought some,
from
man.
my neighbor. Just say something.
But you could buy some from us, too. Like, all right.
Look, I bought 4 boxes, all right? I buy them every year from a gentleman that works in the building and his daughters in the Girl Scouts. First 2 boxes were gone in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I hid the other 2 boxes, but I knew where I hid them.
That's not hiding it if you know where they are.
That.
You can
I know that, but they're out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
And later in the night, sometimes you forget they're there.
Right. Okay. And then about 5 days later, I remembered where I put them.
And then
I was
it was
looking
on?
for something else. And then I took both boxes down, put them in the drawer. I normally do 2 days later.
They were gone again.
I'm just like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, they got me twice. That's why last weekend I was like angry at them.
Right.
Because I was like, not again, Girl Scouts. And stop sending out different kids. If it's just the same 2 girls, I'd be like, you guys already got me. Mm-hmm. But it's like, please, mister. I'm like, God damn it.
Right. You know what they need to do? Listen, Girl Scouts, get punch cards, all right?
Yes.
You got so I can hold up my card and be like, listen, mofo, it's got the date on here.
Yeah, I can prove it.
I bought it.
Right.
I don't care that you're different. I'm not buying more of these dry-ass cookies.
You know who loves the Girl Scout cookies more than anybody else?
Who?
The Great Wolf Lodge. Because if they sell enough, man, they'll take
they
the
get to go to
entire
Great Wolf
group down for a weekend and book all those rooms, man. It's just like a Girl Scout-a-palooza.
And it's a great sales technique. Like, your drug dealer doesn't call you and go, you should get high tonight.
Right.
Like, they're just sitting there. I'm going in there. I'm hungry.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
Couple of texts here. My son is 11. He has 2 Weedles from the story Weedle on the Needle, which I know nothing about. He also has 2 Minnesota Viking pillow pets. He has 2 of each because we bought replacements when they were lost, but then were found again. So he's obsessed with them. They even have their own language. It's cute, but slightly annoying. Both Weedles go to school with him. Middle school is rough, but no one's picked on him. Then they add, yet. And here's one. When I was 1 year old, my father was left to watch me while my mother was out of town. He was unable to put me down for a nap, as I would break into tears when he tried to leave me. He thought quickly, snatched up a little stuffed turtle in my mother's dresser and gave it to me. Now, apparently, that did the trick. I curled up next to it. I fell asleep. The catch was that the turtle had been my mother's binky in childhood and had been given to her by her own father to help her go to sleep at night. Luckily for me, my mother had the grace to let it go and allow me to keep it from then on. That's fine. You just can't lose it, man.
My mom still has my blanket.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I think I called it my binky, to be honest with you. Or my blankie or something like that.
Yeah. I do have my daughter, when she was little, there was a blanket she always used. Never got rid of the thing. Now it sits on the sofa in the basement because the cat has adopted it. Like the cat, and it doesn't matter where you move the blanket, the cat will go sit and sleep on that thing.
I think it was called my Bobby.
Bobby?
But it was a blanket, and I carried it around everywhere. And at one point in time, my mom and my dad decided they want to go out and go to dinner, and my Uncle Bill was going to babysit.
All right.
My Uncle Bill was about 18 at the time. He's a few years younger than my father. And so he said, yeah, you guys go out and have a good time. I'll take care of Miles. So they drop me off, but they forget that Bobby, or Binky, or whatever the hell it's called, is in the trunk of the car. And they did not bring it inside. So apparently I lost my crap for 3 to 4 hours. I was just absolutely inconsolable. I was crying the entire time. I was screaming. My uncle tried everything that he knew to get me to settle down. So So the story goes.
It's only happened 2 years ago.
When my parents,
I know what's funny is I told all these stories earlier. Sorry, Miles. It's just weird because they sound so crazy, but it's like you barely remember, and it's like, oh yeah, we were all just annoying kids.
And like anything else, so they get back from their dinner, wherever they went on the movie like back in the day, my dad, he opens the door.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no knocking in the, just family's family. You just walk into someone's house. So apparently my dad opened the door and he just took one step on the inside of my Uncle Bill's apartment. And he said Bill was waiting for him, and he grabbed him by the shirt and he picked him up and he threw his ass against the door hard, like snapped his head back on the back of the door, and he goes, "What in the F is a Bobby?" And trying to maintain his cool. And my mom's like, "Oh, we didn't give you his blanket? Oh, where is it?" And then she went back in the car and got it, apparently brought it in while they're still, kind of tense, gave it to me, and I'm still screaming. It didn't matter if my parents made a home or not. Apparently I'm still screaming.
Right.
Give me the blanket, and I just stopped. Like nothing was going on. And my Uncle Bill's like, "You sons of bitches."
Right.
I'm going to kill you.
He didn't even know what it was.
He had no idea what I was losing my mind about. But he almost killed my dad. Like
those things, like you were talking earlier, right, about other parents giving you crap for using the pacifier. But I mean, look, I have one uncle that him and my aunt run a pretty strict household. But my one cousin had dog. It was a little dog. And I mean, they were driving down one states away, and I want to say they went out of the way to be like, no, we got to drive back and get it. Like a 2 hour out of the way, because like even as strict as you want to be, it's like when kids attach to those things, like you're just saying, your poor uncle, right, who has no idea what this toy is.
He apparently tried to give me ice cream. He's got chips. He's putting whatever he thinks on television I can watch. I mean, he basically tried to rock me. He tried to walk me around. He would walk circles around, trying to figure out if I had, he was patting my back, trying to find out if I had acid reflux or if
a lot of times people say, look, let them cry themselves out and they'll fall asleep. That's true in a lot of situations, but not if they have lost the thing that they're attached to. Like, they will stay awake for 48 hours straight just to scream until you can find it.
And my impression was let them cry themselves to sleep. Yeah, till a year, maybe.
Right.
Like, Miles obviously had to be 3 or 4.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's 3 or 4 year olds can stay up for a while.
Yes, they can, especially when they're upset.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803.
And they're screaming words.
Yeah. Guess who it is, Ted?
James.
James, welcome to the men's room.
James.
Hola.
Yeah. Hola.
So what was your comfort item as a child?
When I was very young, I sucked my thumb. And my mom had put this pepper crap on my thumb to get me to stop sucking it. So what I did instead was I would pluck a hair out of the top of my head, put it up my nose, and suck my thumb anyway. So I had a small circle, a small patch of no hair on the top of my head, and I was 3 or 4.
And your parents had to explain this to a bunch of people, I'm guessing.
What did she put on your thumb again?
Some pepper crap. I'm 52. It was in 75, 76.
So why did the hair bring your nose comfort?
I don't know. I have no idea. I barely remember it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's you Miles, you mentioned that some children like to rub on their upper lip and their, I guess it's something similar.
Okay.
But I don't know. But I'm 52 now, and I still have a full head of hair. Lucky me, Steve.
Oh, that's good, because you can yank it out if you need to and stick it on your nose for your comfort.
That was a strange one. Although my kids, and back in the day where they'd fall asleep wherever, because that's what kids do. You pick them up, take them to bed. And, man, when kids fall asleep, they're just out of it, right? So you pick them up, take them to their bed, and they kind of half wake up, but it's dark in the hallway. I'm just going to put them in bed. And you can feel their body tense for 1 second. They don't know who's holding them. And both kids, it always made me so happy. The hand kind of touched my cheek, and as soon as they felt my beard, they would hold my beard like you hold a string on a balloon. So I put them, but they immediately relaxed when they felt the beard.
I need
like
a little.
They knew it was me,
yeah.
and I'm like, all right, yeah.
I need a little light. I remember that every night when I went to bed.
I did after I saw the movie Alien. I was good. Seriously, I was fine with the dark, and we saw Alien, and I'm like, I'll go ahead and leave the light on for me.
I used to put jazz on for my kids to fall asleep. That worked. But it's amazing.
Really?
It's still amazing to me, like old classical jazz.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that just how different. I mean, you came from the same place. You have the same parents.
Right.
But as far as trying to, squash this is like whack-a-mole. One kid's got one thing, the other kid's got another thing. You can't believe they're even remotely related because they're so different in their own ways. And at that time, you can kind of get a gauge of, is this more of the mom's side, more of the dad's side? A little bit.
Sure.
But in the end, there's two steaks on the table, but they're completely different. Like one didn't cook right. The other one cooked perfectly. The other one, then the next day. It's like you feel like you got it all nailed down. I cannot believe just how different children can be as far as trying to calm them down, trying to bring them solace. Some kids don't need a minute of it.
Well, I think that's the mistake that we all make, right? You have a kid, and then whether your kid is absolutely badass crazy or if they're super cool, you're used to who they are, right? You know the routine, and you're like, sure, we can do another one, because you get this wrong thought in your head that we're going to do this again. And then the second kid pops out, and you're like, they are nothing like the first kid. There's nothing remotely the same except their last name.
I remember the fact that my kids were only 16 months apart.
Yeah.
So one kid could not sleep through the night. And that was one of the things that I was so pissed off about when my wife got pregnant again, was because I'd just been sleep deprived for so long.
Right.
That I was hoping just for 1 year that I could, go to sleep for longer than 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the deal was. Then my next daughter came. She slept through the night immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. And by that point in time, my other daughter, she had learned to do the same.
Right.
So I was in a safe spot there, but I could not believe. I was like, this is a miracle. I'd get up in the middle of the night just to go in and check to see if she was breathing, because I couldn't believe
that you're
the
actually
kid
sleeping.
Could sleep for 8 hours. I'd go and check on her. So I still couldn't sleep through the night because it wigged me out. Because I was like, no way, man. Something's wrong. She's not breathing. There's got to be something going on. She's just out. I'm like, This is the craziest thing ever. What was your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Joyce. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, fellas.
Hola.
So I have my pound puppy from when I was about 5 or 6. I got it for Christmas.
Were they the kind of flat ass stuffed animals, if I remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still flat. I named him Fred.
I was going to say, what's his name?
Fred.
Yeah,
Okay, Fred. So that was what, in the 80s, I guess? Early 90s?
84, 85.
And you still have this thing?
Yeah.
Now, what would happen? Say someone breaks in your house, they steal your TV, they steal, I don't know, whatever electronics you have, and they steal Fred. Is Fred the thing you're going to be most upset about?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
And where is Fred now? Is Fred, like, put away somewhere, or is Fred out and he's visible?
No, he's out. He's on, like, a little chest in my bedroom.
They used to have, they had a miniature version of that as well. And McDonald's put them in Happy Meals.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah,
Either way, people
those were lame.
Well, people would have them in the back of their windows.
Oh,
of
yeah,
their
yeah.
cars.
Put them all up in the back
It
of
was
the
like
car.
12, 13 little miniature pound puppies that were always
Now,
there.
Joyce, do you have children?
Yes, I have one daughter.
Now, has your daughter ever shown any affection toward Fred?
I don't think so. I mean, she's seen him. My granddaughters, I have 2 granddaughters now. They hold him every now and then. And
Do you keep your eye on your granddaughters when they're holding him?
yes,
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
So what are you
they
going
don't
to do?
really care about it. They're
Okay,
like,
let me ask you
okay.
this, Joyce. You got to write a will. Fred's got to. Are you getting buried with Fred, or who do you give Fred to? Who do you pass?
Because Fred's going to get thrown away.
I haven't really thought about that yet.
You should.
I don't know.
You should.
Do you want Fred? My daughter said she would love to take Fred.
Oh, there you go.
Very good. Man, they used to give great toys in Happy Meals. They really did. People
What
would
do they
go
get
to
now?
McDonald's just to get the pound puppy edition and try to collect all 20.
California raisins. Those are huge.
There were glasses that had all the members.
Trust me, I had them all.
You would
That's like the 80s. It's
I had a
like
Grimace
the 80s.
glass forever.
I can remember being 6 years old and getting the equivalent, or 7 years old, of the very first Happy Meals that came out. And they had all of the different glasses in the Flintstones. So one would have Barney, one would have Fred, whatever. But you were a kid, they would hand you a glass. A glass.
Like paint glass.
Full of Coke with like a makeshift lid on it, sometimes just cellophane.
Oh, yeah.
And hand it to you in the back without a straw in the car. I'm talking about a glass.
Yeah.
That came with a Happy Meal.
Well, dude, and then there was like jelly. There was a jar of jelly that had like cartoon characters on it that would change. We would always rinse those out and use those as glasses. Did you have any of
I know you're talking
the
about.
little nugget guys?
I never got the nugget guys.
I remember them.
Those were big.
I remember
Those were
California
massive.
raisins were huge. Like there was a run on McDonald's so the kids could get a replicated raisin. And I thought McDonald's can do no wrong when kids are excited to get raisins.
And Miles is right. I remember going as my sister loved pound puppies. And like it was a massive deal.
It was. People were in line for them. They traded for them at school. I did read a funny
You're right.
thing.
School became, it was like barter town.
Yeah. I do remember reading, it was either a funny thing on Reddit or Instagram, and it basically said, at one point in time in your life, you were eating your last Happy Meal, and you didn't even know it.
Yep, you don't know it at the time.
And I started to think like,
that almost makes it sad.
What is?
What was my last Happy Meal?
Like, what was the time? I mean, you don't even know you're doing it, but at some point in time, like, the Happy Meal is no longer.
You just go get one.
Well, like your kid, right? He is big enough now where one hamburger and one small fry is not going to do him any
This
good.
does not
So,
cut
like,
it,
he's
no.
already out of just the food he needs to survive. Version.
He's done with Happy Meal. You're right. There was a hot moment there where I never took them to McDonald's, but the grandparents would take them there every freaking time they came over. They got Happy Meals. You're right. Now it's like, I need 3 cheeseburgers, chocolate shake, Coke, and 2 large fries.
You're way out of
And
it.
he puts it down in like 2 minutes. You know, you bring up these glasses McDonald's had. And I vaguely remember getting this glass.
They do Christmas Coke glasses with the traditional polar bears and Santa Claus and all that stuff.
But we got a Woody Woodpecker glass. He was not my favorite cartoon character, but when you're a kid and you get a glass with a cartoon character, you're happy. My mother still has this thing. We visited them last April, right, down in Mexico. Open up the cabinet to grab a glass. They have normal glasses, and I'm like, is that the Woody Woodpecker glass from, it's got to be 50 years old now? She's like, yes, it is. I will not part with it.
Kate would only drink out of one sippy cup. It was her sippy cup. If you gave her another one, I bought new ones because sometimes the lids get gunky. And,
Yeah, they get real gunky.
And all that. No. Couldn't you? I could sneak a change in the lid every once in a while, and there's an insert in there, like a little plastic thing that goes on each side. I could clean those and do that, but it had to be, so every time I got her something, I had to wash that particular cup out and give it to her, and she'd take it with 2 hands, right, and drink it like that.
Have you seen the little nipples they have now?
For what, on top of a glass or something?
Yeah. So, like, they kind of fit to, like, most cups. There's different sizes of them, so almost any glass can become, or cup can become.
It's
like
spill-proof, hopefully.
Yeah, and nowadays, I mean, hell, everybody has a water bottle. So it's not that weird.
My kids have water bottles, which is, because to Miles' point, when I was a kid, I found it was a plastic tomato-shaped vessel, I guess, for lack of a better word. I got it for 10 cents at a garage sale. I drank everything out of that for about 3 years until my father almost got to the point of threatening me, like, look, man, because we're sitting down at dinner, and sure, we all got soda. It had to be my plastic tomato. I totally forgot about that until now. My dad was like, dude, seriously, man, it's been like 3 years. It is disgusting. And the whole time he's talking, I'm like, I don't understand what his problem is.
I will say, again, in kids' defense, I got a cup at the Formula One race, and it's just cheap, and it says, F1 on it, and this and that, but it has a button. It lights up. It's got 3 different settings. I use it all the time, especially when I'm watching the races. Like this Saturday, the race is in Australia, Saturday night. I will light it up and put a beer in there and be like, oh, look at me.
One thing I did.
I have cups, Miles, that I have. My buddy Phil, they're his cups. And I just blatantly stole a couple. They're from the 16th green at the Waste Management Open. And I'm like, look, I'm a golf fan.
Well, even their plates were separated like into 3 sections.
Yeah.
So when I make them dinner, I'd also typically, if it was just me and the kids, I would eat what they ate.
Yes.
I love those plates because you put the macaroni and cheese in one side.
I like them now.
And the applesauce in the other. And then whatever the main course was.
You show up to a barbecue and those people have the Chinette.
Dude, love
separated section
I
plates.
use the kids'
Some
plates
things
all the
should
time.
not touch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did. I used them all the time. I was like, these are great.
Honest to God, and I know, look, I'm a grown-ass man, all right? But I would love to use that plate at Thanksgiving because there's just... Because you put all the food on the plate.
Get the big oval cornets.
Yeah. It's got to be separated.
And you don't have to do as many dishes.
Well, there's the oval ones, then they have a big one that's separated like a kid's plate.
Yep.
So to me, if I
That
show up
is
to a
what I want.
barbecue and you have those, as like your to-go plates or plates you're going to use, like these people are classic.
But see, at a barbecue, it doesn't bug me so much because I feel like all of that food works together.
But it holds the plate.
Yeah,
it's so heavy.
but like
you need that
Thanksgiving,
extra.
gravy has no business touching cranberry sauce. So no matter what I do, inevitably it finds its way there, and it ruins it for me. It just does.
See, I like a little brown gravy to sneak over to them yams.
What, the cranberry? Oh, yams I'm cool with, man, just not the cranberry. So I'm very selective. Like when I put my plate together for Thanksgiving, my wife makes fun of me. She's like, you always use mashed potatoes as like your barrier dam. And it's obvious.
Yeah, right.
It's not a lump. It's a long line like a mountain range. I'm like, right, because I don't want this stuff touching the crap on the other side.
I just try to avoid the butter lava flow. I want it to stay in the cone of the mashed potato volcano.
Do you mash it down to do it?
No. Yes. I make a little hole in there.
Yeah.
And if the butter starts seeping out, I clog the hole real quick like a dam to keep the butter in the top.
We are adults, but
Yes.
that's what happens at Thanksgiving.
What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
That's the problem when you dump out hot sauce and you're like dipping chicken into hot sauce.
Yeah.
Is that it runs all over the plate.
It does.
The viscosity of it's too thin.
It does. That's why I prefer the thicker hot side. It's stupid, but there I am. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Jeff.
Jeff.
Hefe. Put him back on hold.
Joffrey.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So let's see here. For me, it was this like pull string bear that sung a song. Well, it was like a music box type deal, but the whole body was the pull string. So you like stretch out the bear, then you like shrink up again.
What was it called? I remember Teddy Ruxpin, but I don't remember the one you're talking about.
I honestly don't know the name of it. I did look it up. You could find them on eBay, but 32 years later, I still got it, and my kids weren't too into it. Instead, one was like you guys were saying, Binky fanatic. Like that's been like his go-to for anytime he needed comfort and all that. So like bedtimes, we would lose his ass. We eventually had to get those little like tie-down straps that like put on their shirt. It didn't go out of the mouth, and they couldn't find it. Or if he couldn't find it, oh yeah, total freaking meltdown.
Dude, my daughter dropped her Binky on a plane, all right? We're sitting on a plane. It's no big deal. It just rolled under the seat in front of her, and you could visibly see it. But in the time it took me to reach under that seat and get it back in her mouth, you'd have thought that I stabbed a butter knife in her eyeball. I mean, it was this ear-piercing scream, and I'm like, but it's right there,
It's also hard, man, when you're reaching under a seat in the back seat.
Yeah. On a plane, it sucked.
Anywhere. I hated that.
You have to get it, though. It's unbelievable, the breakdown, and I'm sure we're all guilty of it, but just as a parent, to see the breakdown where you're like, are we doing this? Like, yeah, we are doing this. You know what I mean? And you try to appeal to reason. There is none. You cannot reason with a child who has lost whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
It's the single. And again, my daughter has had the fish that died. She didn't shed a tear about it. She wasn't happy, but like, hey, man, your fish died. Okay, that's fine. We've gotten separated in places. We can't find her for like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm panicked. She was fine. She drops her Binky. All hell has broken loose. It's like the security guard that called in from the zoo earlier. He made a good point. I have seen kids get separated from their parents, and the kid is fine. That kid loses their stuffed animal, and that's the end of the world. Period.
Our question, what was your or your kid's comfort item or
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. Auto Trader.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Favorite toy, 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
A lost stuffed animal that was recently found at a rest stop in eastern Iowa has found its way home, making one youngster in central Iowa a very, very happy boy. The father, Sean Downey, said, quote, "I didn't think Pup Pup would ever be back. I thought Pup Pup was gone forever." The reunion ended an 11-day saga that put a spotlight on Iowa nice and the kindness of strangers.
11 days is a long time.
Downey's 4-year-old son, John, and Pup Pup have been together since his birth. They are practically inseparable. Well, while driving to Cedar Rapids for a birthday party, Downey said everyone in his car needed to use the bathroom. They pull over at the next rest stop. When John got in there, apparently he had taken Pup Pup with him. So once arriving at the party, John asked, "Where's Pup Pup?" Downey searched his car, his friends' vehicles, bags, everything, came up with nothing. Well, the worried father prayed on the way home and hoped that Pup Pup did not begin the trip with him. He tore apart his house from corner to corner, still missing, and Downey thought that's it for good. What he didn't know was anything to tell his son regarding the whereabouts of his beloved friend. But fortunately, as Downey put it, it is truly an indescribable feeling when a complete stranger goes above and beyond to make sure a child is reunited with his lost toy. As Katie Hopner found Pup Pup hours later at the Williamsburg rest stop, where he was sitting near a bathroom sink. For a handful of days, they were together. She called Pup Pup George. Well, Hopper crafted a Facebook post that night detailing how she came across Pup Pup and how she decided to rescue him. She asked for the public help in finding the toy's rightful owner. She knew that it's like losing your best friend because her family had been in the same boat before. When you get it back, it's more tears and excitement to see it again. So her post went pretty viral in a hurry, accumulating more than 50,000 shares and thousands of comments across the U.S. It's amazing how much support it's gotten. Additionally, the mother of two picture highlights Pup Pup's voyage with his new pals, like going through a car wash, drinking a Starbucks Frappuccino,
getting kicked out of the bar,
and enjoying cuddles before bed. My kids are up for the shenanigans. This has been kind of an adventure for them as well. Well, Deborah Fox Grimes, John's teacher at 2 4U Child Care and Preschool, saw the post about the missing stuffed animal on her social media timeline. She knew right away the stuffed animal was John's missing Pup Pup as he brought it to preschool. All the time. So they basically said, hey, I think we know who the owner is. She also watched a video that promotes feel-good stories and positive news, and that was on there as well. And she knew right away the viral stuffed animal was the missing Pup Pup. It was a match. So she boxed up Pup Pup and had it fast shipped to Grimes' home. And John is now a happy boy. Our question, what was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
A couple of quick texts here, and both of them deal with fear. All right, so I used to have to sleep with a glass of water by my bed. Why? So I could melt the Wicked Witch of the West. The Wizard of Oz scared the living S out of me. All right, so that became your comfort.
Okay.
A glass of water. And this one, I used to have a My Buddy doll. You remember those? My buddy, my buddy and me. Like. Well, you're about to find out. I used to have a My Buddy doll as a kid, but once the Chucky movie came out, I tossed that SOB. Yeah. It kind of looked like Chucky, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My buddy, yeah.
Right, you remember him?
My buddy.
God, yeah. I can see how Chucky could ruin that for you, brother. Yeah, that thing would have been long gone. Guess who it is, Ted?
James, too?
James, welcome to the men's room.
What's up? First, my childhood toy, I will first say I loved it when I got it, but it ended up traumatizing me to the point where we had to throw it away.
What was it, man?
It was one of those creepy Teddy Ruxpins from the early 90s.
Oh, man, that was like the height of technology, the first talking stuffed bear.
Mm-hmm.
We found out my buddy's little brother had one, and I didn't realize how it worked. And my buddy goes, hey, man, you realize it's just a cassette tape. So at that time, Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden had come out. So I remember we would put the tape of Iron Maiden in there, and it was kind of cool because his mouth moves just because there's sound. So Bruce Dickinson singing, but really it was Teddy Ruxpin singing to us.
Interesting.
The mouth moving and the eyes, that kind of like went side to side or whatever it was, that ended up traumatizing me because the speaker on it ended up breaking.
All right.
And my brother thought it would be my older brother would be an awesome idea to put a tape in and play it right before I went to sleep. So you couldn't hear anything, but his eyes and his mouth started moving when I had my nightlight going. So I ended up being traumatized from that thing, and I couldn't sleep. I had to sleep with my mom. I think I was maybe like 6 or 7 years old. I had to sleep with my parents for about 3 or 4 nights, my mom told me. And she ended up throwing it away because she was tired of me sleeping in their bed.
Yeah, that is how you solve it. Hey, man, look, years ago, it's my daughter's first Christmas, so she would have been about 6 weeks old. And she doesn't know what any of the toys are. But Christmas Eve, she's in bed, my wife's asleep. I'm downstairs watching TV. We got the little Christmas tree, and one of the toys, I think it was a dog or something. Anyway, I'm just kind of looking at all these toys. This is the first time I have bought toys from a child of mine for Christmas. You're feeling kind of good about yourself. So I'm looking at this dog, which I had seen for like the last 2 weeks. Dog's looking back at me, and then this thing winked at me. And I about lost my ass, woke my wife up and said, we're getting rid of the goddamn dog. Frickin' thing's possessed. She's like, dude, it's supposed to blink. I'm like, I did not know this. I have every time I've seen it for 2 weeks, it never did it. So I was looking at it, and I see this, Miles. And I was like, nope, we're getting rid of it. So that's how black people respond
I was gonna say.
to anything supernatural. Get rid of it, leave the house, burn it to
Sell
the
the
ground.
house.
Yeah, that's it. That show was
They sprint away.
Yeah, leave. That's
You
how
ever
you
seen the original David Blaine, one of the original David Blaine videos he put out?
I don't know. What did he do on it?
So he, like David Blaine, he's famous
float and all that kind of thing.
Right, so the floating stuff. So it's basically him.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Just going around the different neighborhoods in America. But there's obviously a scene. I want to say he's in L.A., probably like South Central.
Yeah.
But he's like levitating and stuff. And I mean, everybody's just losing it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, and great, I grew up in PG County, but I'm kind of with black people in this. Like, when I watch him, I'm like,
well, you don't watch horror movies.
He is the devil.
Yeah. So leave.
Yeah,
all these problems could be like The Exorcist, right? Girl's tied to the bed, and at one point the priest says something like, to prove you, like, untie yourself from the bed. It's like, that would be with a vulgar display of power, right? That's the line.
All right.
And I'm like, so he's not going to untie himself. So if we leave, I'm out. Look,
yeah.
We have to physically go to his bedroom for this S to go down. And you keep choosing to go there. People are getting thrown out of windows or getting their neck snapped, right? She's saying awful things about people. She's puking blood. Her head spins around. Like, don't go there. If that's where stop going in the bedroom, man. How hard is this?
You're right, Miles. I still don't watch scary movies.
What was your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Yeah, my little sister had the combination thing going on with the left thumb and the blanket.
All right.
Until she was 11 years old.
Really? Was she still sucking her thumb at 11?
11, yeah. To the point where her left thumb was almost a half inch longer than her right one.
Huh. She sucked that thing longer. I will be damned.
Well, you know what? That is an experiment I need to try in other things.
I would say.
Hey, listen, we're just doing this for science. I'm wondering.
I'm guessing as a bigger brother, you kept an eye on her as you started going through your teenage years.
It took her till she was 25 for him to look normal.
Really?
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is she a nervous person? Does she have anxiety issues or anything, or was it just a habit?
Just a habit. She'd fall asleep in the laundry basket waiting for it to come out of the dryer.
Does she have an overbite?
No.
See, that's amazing to me. That was another thing. If you suck your thumb, you're going to have an overbite.
But is that the Harry Palms for masturbating thing? Just something they tell you to try to break the habit.
I have an overbite. I never suck my thumb, so whatever.
You have an overbite?
Yeah.
I mean, a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's corrected by years of rubber bands.
Ah.
They were attached.
Okay.
Sometimes I'd just be talking, ting, ting, just fly across the room, 100 miles an hour. What was your or your kid's comfort item or favorite toy? 206-803-ROCK.
I just remember kids getting so much stuff stuck in their braces.
It was so gross, man. And they're talking to it. You see, like, carrots and everything. They like, God.
Picture my cousin Tom looking like a squirrel. Just a lot of sausage.
Ew,
stuffed in
man.
his cheeks.
That is
Yeah,
so
we were
good.
eating breakfast.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't know why that bugs me. All right, now we beam our satellites to New Mexico. Hello, Mom. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, honey bun. How are you?
I am great, Mom. How are you?
Hola.
I'm good. Hola.
Hola. I'm here. I'm right here, baby. Don't worry.
We're all here.
Oh. Hey, how are you guys?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I had to silence my Nigerian soap opera to give you guys a call.
Wait, I thought you were watching a Turkish soap opera. Last time I was there.
I am. I'm still watching it. It's like episode 277, and I watched them all.
How do you
Turkish or Nigerian?
No, she was watching a Turkish soap opera when we were there last April.
In Turkey.
Right.
In Turkish.
And now you're watching. How do you keep finding these foreign language soap operas?
I don't know. I don't know. But the Turkish one is my favorite.
What's the name of your Nigerian soap opera? I'm just curious.
It's
Mumbatu.
It's
Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's on YouTube, and it's a series of stories. So each story has a different title.
Okay, I'll be sure to not watch that.
Turkish soap opera is I'm not going to tell you. It's Blood Flowers.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Kind Chikaleri.
I know. My mom's learning Turkish now because of this damn thing.
I see.
Not a time to bring it up, but Nigeria actually has a massive kind of like Hollywood and music scene.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's called Nollywood.
Nollywood.
Come on, Ted, get with it. My mom is like 2 steps ahead of you, bro. So, as I understand, all right, so we're talking about like kid security crap, right? Teddy bears, pacifiers, all that kind of thing. And
yes, that's why I called in.
I don't remember a ton, but you and Dad have talked at length about, I guess, a blanket that I had to have when I was real little.
Your blankie.
My blankie. Is that what I called it or what you guys called it?
Yes. No, that's what you called it.
I've always been able to speak well. So
no, we called it a dirty blanket.
Oh, there you go.
How dirty was it?
Real dirty. I would, when he was asleep, I would wash it and try to get it dried before he woke up. The thing, it wasn't the whole blanket though for you. It was the, that satin edge on the edge of them, and it had frayed. And so you would rub it's like the person with the hair.
Oh, good. I'm glad I compared of all the callers. That is the last one I want to be compared to.
You didn't chew or teeth on it. You just kind of held
it. Right. So he would rub the threads across his nose, mouth, face. Yeah. And what happened, we moved a lot because of his dad's job. And the packers came in to pack the house. And one of the packers who packed the kids' room packed his blankie. And the next thing we knew, it was on a North American van line heading to the new city. And this kid was screaming, and like all of your other callers have said. And so finally I said, the packer, took really good care of your blankie. He folded it up and he put it in a box. And when we get to the new house, we'll find the box and get your blankie. So we drove to the new house, and when we got there, there are boxes everywhere. He wanted us to find, and we had like 90 boxes, find the box that had the blankie. And those guys take blankets and use them to stuff a vase or something so that it doesn't break. It wasn't necessarily in the box from the kids' room.
Uh-huh.
And our life was hell until we have unpacked unpacked so quickly. And finally, we found it like with the kitchen items with like a orange juice vase wrapped up in it. And so once we found it, I said, Mommy's going to wash it again so that it's nice and clean. And you were okay with that because we had it. And after I washed it, I left it on top of the dryer, folded, and you never went back for it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, it was like he could see it. But so when he didn't ask for it, I thought, well, I'll just leave it up here. And, you would periodically see it up there, but no more of it running across your face and dragging it down the hall. And
was that my only attachment to anything? 'Cause, I mean, there were some things I had, because I remember there was that weird-ass brown dog with the weird eyes that came down from Adrian. But Adrian seemed more attached to that thing than me.
Did you have the Raggedy Ann and Andy? Not the what was the one where you dressed the little boy or the little girl up? You learned how to use a zipper. You learned how to use buttons.
No, he didn't. He didn't have that one. But for his birthday, and you may have been there, Miles, for his birthday party, I had the doll that one of my friends made.
Oh yeah, yes.
And that was his Raggedy. Whatever.
Okay. What about
I still have it.
Now, what about
how old is that thing? Because I got it when I was 2.
You got it when you were 2.
All right, so that's 53 years old.
And the outfit that the doll has on was an outfit that she made for you, so you and the doll had on the same outfit.
You let me wear that? The one thing, man, listen, I'm glad you gave it back to me, but the one thing about that doll, and even your grandchildren commented, like, what is he wearing, man?
Now, how about Adrian? Did he have anything that he clung to?
Yes. He had the dog that Stephen was maligning a few minutes ago. Yes, as a matter of fact, we put it in a gift box. We gave Stephen the doll for his birthday. And then this was just a couple of years ago, we took the dog, because I still had it, and it had like mange, all the...
Keep in mind, it's not a real dog, but I'm pretty sure it actually did have mange.
Made from real dog hair.
Yeah, and we wrapped it up in a beautiful box and sent it with their Christmas gifts.
That thing was kind of
Did he remember it?
Oh, yeah. And I have a picture of him when he's, I don't know, maybe like 6 weeks old. And I have that dog. Adrian couldn't even sit up. And I have him propped up, dog holding him up on a picture.
I didn't know it was that old.
He should recreate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mom, just so you know,
he was born.
Just so you know, someone texted Dan that says, "Hey, Thrill, my mom is also obsessed with Turkish soaps. We have no idea how she found them. We're Swedish, Irish, and English. She even bought us a set of Turkish teacups and tea service."
Do you still have most of these things from their childhood? I mean, the things that are important,
No,
the things you remember.
I don't. I'm not that sentimental, like you said. I have that Woody Woodpecker glass.
She sent me a picture. Yep. Still has the Woody Woodpecker glass.
Picture. And when Stephen's kids were young, now that they're like teenagers.
They smell
almost,
bad now, yeah.
I know. They would drink out of it, and my grandson, he was the youngest, and he would be drinking out of it, and his sister would say, "Be careful with that. You know it's very old." It was Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would be like so serious. Be very careful. But I still have my chicken from when I was a kid.
Your chicken?
Yeah, it's a glass chicken. And Easter, they would put little fake grass in it, and jelly beans would be stuffed in it.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, when Stephen visited for Easter, he goes, "Isn't this thing that's been around forever?" And just kind of manhandled it. So I had to.
I didn't know that I was offending you. I did not know.
Yes, you were.
Well, now that you're down in New Mexico, have you ever thought about coming back to the United States of America?
Very funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so sad. We're in New Mexico, the 47th state of the nation, and right now I can talk to people, and they say, "Man, you guys be careful down there in Mexico. You know that cart." Now we have lived in Mexico, so I'll cut them a little slack.
No, they're stupid. They are dumb.
They really
not cut them slack.
They really think that you're in Mexico.
Some do, yeah. And we got tired of trying to tell them. And when Adrian was here, he saw a T-shirt in Santa Fe that said New Mexico. It's a state, dumbass.
Good times.
So it's the only state that on the license plate it says New Mexico, USA.
I know. It actually
wild.
does. Because people really can't put it together. Well,
They
Mom,
cannot put it together. I don't know.
thank you for calling in and sharing the story. But I didn't realize I got over it. Just all you had to do was wash it. Who knew?
No, and they had to travel hundreds of miles. Just real quick, talking about imaginary friends, your uncle, I won't tell you which one, had one for years, and his name was Tink.
Does this uncle live in California?
No.
Okay.
There's a lot of
I know enough about these stories. It's got to be that uncle.
There'll be a lot of irony there.
I know.
No, but his name was Tink.
Okay.
That is not a great name.
So you can ask your aunt about it.
Okay.
She'll tell you.
So now I know what your uncle is.
I'm narrowing it down now, yeah.
Who Sucks Less is coming up, and we got your emails on the way next to the men's room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? King County, a leader in government services, is on the lookout for talented individuals to join our team. King County offers an inclusive, welcoming work environment where innovation and creativity thrive. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, we have positions that could be a perfect fit. Competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and career development are just some of the perks you may receive. Visit our website, kingcounty.gov/careers, and join King County. Thrive where you work.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Wow, which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? King County, a leader in government services, is on the lookout for talented individuals to join our team. King County offers an inclusive, welcoming work environment where innovation and creativity thrive. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, we have positions that could be a perfect fit. Competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and career development are just some of the perks you may receive. Visit our website, kingcounty.gov/careers, and join King County. Thrive where you work.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less is on the way, but first time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And a couple from our question about your favorite comfort item or favorite toy growing up. Gentlemen, a bit late to the show, but went home to Illinois for granddaughter's first birthday. When my youngest was 5, she had a zoo ball approaching that she wore backwards.
A zoo ball?
A zoo ball. All the time. She loved the show Punky Brewster.
Ah, okay.
And she wore her ball appropriately backwards. I still have her ball cap from her childhood. My oldest had a blanket that was from her great-grandma, and those items went with us everywhere until they grew out of that stage. P.S. Still can't find your beer down here in Elk Plain. That from the Elk Plain Drifter. Where is Elk Plain?
I don't know.
Well, look.
Down south of like Bonnie Lake, Sumner.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, gotcha.
Area.
Guys, growing up as a
I'll
kid.
be honest. Till he moved down there, I never heard of it.
I had not either.
No.
I feel like that's one of those little tiny areas.
I would say the name Elk Plain tells me it is not a metropolis.
Yeah, right?
It's right there in the name.
Glad you moved to Monroe, the Monroe Molester or something.
Oh, great name.
Exactly. That's me. Growing up as a kid, my comfort item was a beanbag stuffed orca whale. Took it everywhere we went. No exceptions to that rule of mine, but I also used it to beat the hell out of my brother for no other reason than for fun. Cheers, guys. That from Alex. As we move on to the birthdays, ironically enough, the story about kids' comfort items, we have a number of kids' birthdays.
Oh, nice.
Today. Gentlemen, please wish my firstborn Jackson a very happy 5th birthday. He listens to your show with me while we catch up on the Odyssey app. So please have Mickey and Goofy get him ready for kindergarten and being the boss on the playground and maybe a Leroy Jenkins. Thanks, guys, and also had a blast at the IPA release party. That from Evan.
Let's do this. Leroy!
Well, gosh, going to the kindergarten now, that means you're getting out of daycare. This is like going on to college. You're spending time there playing with blocks, look at the kids and always have boogers in their nose, and you just don't understand why they don't blow it. And somebody there's going to pee their pants more than once. He's just going to be the kid that pees his pants.
The main thing is, you got to go there. You don't... Listen, you might pee your pants, so don't make fun of the kid that pees his pants. The main thing is, you think old Mick gets to take a nap during the day? You think this park, the films, they run on their own? They don't. So cherish nap time. I want you to be the very best napper at all of kindergarten. Mick could use a nap.
Gentlemen, want to wish my little girl Nola a very happy 5th birthday. How about a couple sound bites there from Mike and Mickey talking about our favorite show, Peppa Pig. Thanks, guys, from Dad the Rock Slinger.
All right. I don't have any parks in England. Got one over in France. But let's see if old Mick can talk like Peppa Pig. Hello. Hello. I don't know. Maybe we should have a biscuit. All right. Turns out Mick doesn't really do impressions of English people. But you know what? Peppa Pig's cool. Wish I had her on the payroll.
All of Cholas, I want to wish happy birthday to Abby. She's 7 years old today.
Wow.
An amazing little girl, loves kittens, and would love to hear Mickey and Goofy talk about cute kittens and maybe a fish sandwich montage. Lots of love from Dad, Mom, and 3 older sisters.
Can I get
a fillet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll order a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish fish sandwich. Cheese and tartar on the side. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon. And at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Well, gosh. In Goofy's experience, no such thing as a kitten that's not cute. In fact, the only time I saw an ugly kitten, I found out a month later, it was a possum.
Oh, kids, you might not know this, but old Mick even has to take his car to the shop. And the auto shop had a kitten. Mick was playing with it. Now, more importantly, I don't know if you're into the Barbie stuff, but one of the most famous kittens is that Melissa. And kittens can be nice or real mean. You're kind of like a kitten. Small little human.
But y'all says my husband Tim's 28th trip around the sun. Can he get some of Thrill Shotgun Gits and Ozzy Ted's advice on how he should celebrate? Thanks so much, guys. That from his loving wife, Erin. Get.
How old's this mate here, Mouse?
He is 28 years old.
28. Ted here from Melbourne. You know, in Melbourne, that's almost over the hill. Most of us about 25. Chiseled chest. A lot of good times. I mean, if it was me, I'd go out, probably pick up another lassie tonight. Sure, the one you have, you should stay at home.
Also, Ted's in a mood today. I don't know what's up with him. Guys, hi, it's Olympia from Transylvania. Thanks, guys, for the birthday shout-out yesterday. Believe it or not, today is my American boyfriend's birthday. Ryan is now 43. He's a young blood. I'm 44. So could you give him a shout-out with a fish sandwich and turtles having sex? Love you guys. That from Olympia.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Mom, but look at here. We have some new locations for Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brook. A few here from the listeners. Guys, Men's Room IPA at the Safeway in Kingston.
Kingston.
That's from David the Electrician.
Nice.
Yes.
Get over there where you can get in that Mukilteo ferry.
New beer location, the Food March Chevron in Carlsberg and in Squim.
Carlsberg.
Guys, I spotted the Men's Room IPA, the new Men's Room IPA sausage, the Men's Room beer brought from Uli at the Thriftway in West Seattle. Larpon, that from Bryce. Bryce, you're probably going to have one before we do.
I know.
Hopefully I can find some sausages. Some more locations include the Country Corner Grocer, Odom Samples in Bremerton, the Rockridge Orchard and Cidery, Northwest Liquors and Wine, the Purdy Liquor Mart, Local Boys Tap Room, Safeway on Capitol Hill, the Food Market at Key Center, the I-5 Fuel Stop, QFC on Holman, Safeway in Puyallup and in Belfair, the Albertsons in Gig Harbor, Runland's Grocery, the Huntington's Corner Grocery.
Yeah, all right.
Chevron in Enumclaw.
Yeah.
The Stanwood Food Mart.
Runland's is in Enumclaw, right? Yeah.
Total Wine in Puyallup, QFC in Stanwood, Safeway in Bonnie Lake, the Edmonds Bowl Hardware location.
All right.
Safeway in Stillicum, also on JBLM. Where is that one at? That's Lewis Class 6.
All right.
Is that area? I mean, that's a big city.
That thing is massive.
Right. Safeway in West Olympia, Lakewood, Milton, and Shelton. All those Safeway locations. Tacoma Boys in Tacoma. Total Wine in Federal Way and in Silverdale. The Thriftway on Southwest Morgan. Market Time Foods. Oh, that's near me in lovely Fremont.
All right.
Sweet. Now I know where to go. Foss Grocery, Pine Food Store, Village Market Thriftway in Ballinger, the Safeway in Duval, the Kenmore Chevron, Stillwater Grocer, Duval Family Grocer, Super K, and the Gold Bar Family Grocer. Those are just some of the locations right now with the Men's Room IPA. If you find the beer, do us a favor. Please shoot us an email to the men's room at KISW.com. If you can, include a picture. Mike, I know that you said so we can spread the word. that you were looking for the other day at your Safeway location. It was not near the beer, but they had an individual stand.
Correct.
Located in another part of the grocery store.
Yeah, so they kind of have those pre-made like deli things. You could buy a sandwich there. You can buy like wraps and salads and whatnot. That's where it was at. They have a pretty well stacked beer aisle as it were, but there was a good display of the Men's Room IPA there.
If you find it, just please shoot us an email to the men's room at KISW.com. That way we can spread the word and do more good for our friends in the Fisher House.
We got two more that came in on the text line. Men's Room IPA at Johnson's at 304th and Mountain Way, and Men's Room IPA at Eldon Store north of Hoodsport.
Very good. Speaking of drinking, coming up, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day, but first.
Now, the Men's Room wants to know who sucks less?
Yay, time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Thrill-Hill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck. It's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And let's just get to it. You might remember this story out of Colorado where a supermarket employee pleasured himself onto the produce and other sealed merchandise. Videos of the activity are actually found during a recent search of the man's residence. So keep that in mind. This is not why the cops went to him. No. One Stephen Masalta, he was busted on charges that he masturbated outside of numerous coffee shops and businesses in the Fort Collins area. So at the time of his arrest, cops executed a search warrant at his home. They seized electronic devices. That's where they found the incriminating video evidence. They did not know he was doing this. They got it from something else. They pulled these videos. Yeah, they're still reviewing it, but it resulted in additional misdemeanor and felony counts being filed against this guy. The police probe of Salta, they've determined that he was employed at a Safeway store in Fort Collins for a brief period of time ending last month. But videos recorded by the man himself show him masturbating onto fruits, vegetables, and baked goods, all of which were not commercially sealed inside of the supermarket. And the clips have allowed detectives to identify potential victims, some of whom were believed to be minors. And as a result, he's been charged with 16 attempted sexual assault on child counts. Whoa. As the probe of him continues, police anticipate additional charges and more victims being identified. Miles, does that ruin your idea of maybe snatching a grape or two? I'm just saying, I read that, I'm like, nope.
No, but it gives it definitely a different definition.
I would agree. Well, not to be outdone, we go to Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, where a manager has been suspended from a Chipotle because he was masturbating in a booth inside of the restaurant. Authorities report that the male manager of the business exposed his genitals and proceeded to masturbate in front of people during dining hours while he was sitting at a booth inside. Officials, they state that when they began their investigation, Chipotle suspended the unidentified 26-year-old man, quote, with the intent to dismiss him. Chipotle is very forgiving. I would have just done it on the spot, but they're like, well, we'll go through the procedure. But since then, police say the man has been charged with indecent assault, indecent exposure, open lewdness, disorderly conduct, and harassment. What blows my mind about that is, like, wait, you're the manager there. It's not some guy that came in off the street. You work there. Whatever. And now for something entirely different. This is the guy that Mike and I are a bit torn, all right? I'd be very angry at this person, but when you realize how stupid this person is, you're angry, but you don't even know if you're mad at him. So, a flight in China was delayed by more than 4 hours after a passenger threw coins into the engine. Yes, the idea was that they were, quote, lucky coins. So in a video on Chinese social media, a flight attendant is seen questioning the passenger who threw the coins, asking them how many coins he threw into the engine. And he was nonchalant. He said anywhere from 3 to 5. Well, the passenger was arrested, and the airline, China Southern Airlines, they say they were able to retrieve the coins, and they completed a thorough check before the plane was cleared to fly again. China Southern also put a message on social media acknowledging that there have been incidents of people throwing coins at planes because apparently it is good luck. They're warning people to knock it off because if there are coins in the engine, it will not be good luck for anyone. So again, what he did is one of the dumbest things I think you could possibly do. Only because he has no idea of how catastrophic that could be. Mm-hmm. He thinks it's good luck. So, like, I'm mad about it. You delayed my flight for 4 hours, but you're so stupid, like, I can't get mad at you. So there you go. We have the guy that we talked about earlier this week, I believe, or late last week. He was the guy who, in addition to masturbating outside of coffee shops, when the cops actually reviewed evidence, turns out he was also doing it on your produce at the local grocery store. I'm sorry I'm smiling about that. I can't help it because I don't buy produce. Doesn't bug me.
They also didn't catch him till long after those videos were recorded.
And again, keep in mind, that's not even why they were there. They saw the videos and they're like, you've got to be kidding me. We have the Chipotle manager, for reasons I cannot explain, decided during his shift he was sitting in a booth and masturbate in front of people eating. And finally, the idiot that threw coins in the plane engine because he thought it was good luck, but all he did was delay the flight for 4 hours.
All right, Ted, here's me. I'm going to go with the flight to China being delayed. That sucks the most because if they had not caught him doing that,
right, they happened to see it.
It could have been catastrophic.
But he's so stupid. Like, he didn't even recognize
it. Doesn't matter. Still the outcome of what could have happened.
Sure.
Guy in Colorado, that's bad because other people are definitely eating the produce and the fruit. They they do not know.
And they have no idea.
They didn't have a chance to clean it, remove items from the produce area. This was all way after the fact.
Think about the people that live there. You live in Fort Collins. This thing pops up on the news, and you're like, wait, that's the grocery store we go to.
So the Chipotle manager who asked if you wanted extra sour cream on your burrito, I think that guy sucks the least because he really wasn't hurting anyone other than doing what he was doing, which is lewd and which is not cool.
But everyone was aware.
Everyone was aware, and none of his anything. It was all him. Yeah. It was all his doing.
Yeah, opposite. The risk in China is high.
Sure.
But that guy's an idiot. I don't...
Clearly an idiot.
You said that's like a thing? Some people think it's good luck.
They think it's good luck. Before you get on a flight, right, you want it to go well, as we all do. So a lot of people throw coins at the plane. This guy thought he'd go one step above, be real lucky, and throw them directly into the engine. The good news is the flight attendants saw him do it, so they could address it.
Right, so nobody got hurt. The guy in Colorado pleasuring himself...
On the produce?
On the produce.
Produce pleasure man.
Right. Again, life lesson, why you don't steal grapes from grocery stores.
Tasted like cotton candy.
But I think this manager of the burrito chain sucks the most.
Why?
A, it's a burrito place, so there's all ages, families.
Sure.
B, I'm just trying to go in there and eat, and I feel like I would be disgusted and be like, why is your tamale out?
Right. I would be too. I would say... Man, I don't know. I feel like...
I guess they don't have tamales.
Grocery store guy, I think he sucks the most.
He can do the most damage.
It's not that he did the most damage. It's just more that he did not plan for anyone to find out. Like, guy in China through the coins is just stupid.
Yeah.
And they explained to him, like, that this is a very, very, very bad idea. Chipotle guy... I mean, like, look, that's not what I want to see when I'm eating Chipotle.
Wait a minute, it was a Chipotle?
Yeah, it was Chipotle.
That's even worse. I love Chipotle.
But nothing that he did landed in anyone's food.
But they make everything fresh there.
That's what he was doing.
What about his hands?
Yeah, making it fresh. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess coin guy sucks the least. Only because nothing happened.
Right.
And he's dumb.
Okay. Debate continues on Who Sucks Less. If you happen to follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Shout of the Day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes. We'll drink your toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. New research suggests that men who find ways to manage stress live longer.
Well, it's probably true of women too, but we'll wait on that study.
That's...
Maybe just say people
right
that manage stress tend to live longer.
I would think the same thing. And that's part of what life is learning how to manage your stress.
Yes. Oh, no, not women. They're done either way.
They're damn psychos.
Yeah, she might be really good at it, but according to this study, it doesn't matter.
You're going to live with it. Can't do it as well as a man can.
There, you need some help, little lady? You look a little stressed out.
Let me tell you, calm down, honey. That's all you got to do.
You know, your mother wasn't calm either.
Hakuna Matata, baby.
Yeah, right? Forget about it.
You ever just thought about not giving a damn about it?
Look at our relationship.
The reason why it worked? I don't give a damn.
I don't care.
We're going to get in trouble. A new article says historic covered bridges are facing a threat of truck drivers using GPS mapping meant for cars.
Why do we still have covered bridges?
I mean, a lot of them just historical for the most part. Like,
Right.
they've been there for 120 years, whatever, and they did not account for GPS. Like, you had to know your route back in the day, or you used a map, or someone said, don't go this way because there's a covered bridge, and now GPS is plug it in and go.
I understand it looks cool. I get that. Bridges in Madison County, whatever.
That's why I don't like them.
But what's the practical purpose of having the bridge covered? I'm sure there was one.
I don't know.
I mean, you're talking about horse and carriage days, right?
Sure.
Maybe to keep the horses dry, or I don't know.
Did it do anything for like wind throughout the bridge or something like that? You know, weather conditions.
But it wasn't a problem with GPS. I mean, honest to God,
right?
You know,
structure speaking, maybe. You know, we have a lot of bridges that have kind of the rigging over the top of it to kind of hold it up as well. So that might be.
Maybe they should have a trucker's GPS. For the most part, it would be the same, but like you punch in, you're driving a truck. Like, okay, don't take this road.
I mean, you know what? It's just that simple. Just to protect the bridge itself from the weather.
It is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a wooden structure, whereas the roads were
score one for Mikey.
Dirt roads or asphalt. Yeah.
But more to your point, Steve, there's been a couple times where we've just here in these studios, from what we can see out here, there's been truck drivers that have been right. You know, I remember that there was one that over on the on ramp that's over here. Truck driver tried to take it, and he was too long.
Just too big. Yeah.
Apparently, the new way.
Don't we know?
Yeah, we do. Too long. I can't do it.
Too big.
Apparently, the new way kids are catching a buzz these days: sniffing nutmeg.
I saw that.
I feel like
snorting it or sniffing it.
It says sniffing it.
What's the difference between sniffing and snorting?
Well, one's going up the chute, the other one you're just getting a sense of the
I would
smell.
assume snorting.
I'm sure. Yeah, but I feel like nutmeg has always been around as one of those ones, like it has some properties. Or something.
Right. I mean, I've heard it since I was a kid. But there's a million ways your kid can get high. Don't freak out about nutmeg. All the aerosol you have, all these. Like, if somebody wants to get high, they can find a way to get high.
I mean, I remember trying, I'm not going to say what we did, but it basically involved a piece of gum and moldy fruit. And then we ate the moldy gum. I don't remember a buzz.
That was food poisoning.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've been talking about kids all day. In fact, we were just talking about kids now, just the habits that kids have, but sometimes there's a reason for it. So let's get a little deep today.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 habits you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child. Where to begin? Why do you think you weren't loved as a child? Chronic bedwetter? Probably. Nose picker and eater? More than likely. Too many imaginary friends? Kind of answers itself. Middle child? Oh, without a doubt. Or maybe it was because you were supposed to be a twin, but you consumed your photocopy in the womb and your parents labeled you a murderer. Don't worry. I'm sure you turned out just fine.
Damn, I am a middle child. Is that the reason?
That's the reason.
Is that why?
I can think of other things, but also, yeah.
The redhead.
I mean, look, it happens to everybody. I was on a very important phone call today with somebody that happens to also be sort of a friend. And they didn't mean to. They were just like, you just never want to be the last kid.
Oh.
Last kid is screwed, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you mean the baby? I was like, I am the baby.
I'm the baby, man.
That's why I bring it up.
So there's a habit that you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child. The fear of making mistakes shows up at the very end. Because, you know, if you were loved, then you're totally fine with
You're
making
cool
mistakes.
making mistakes, yeah.
Those who didn't receive enough love in their childhood may develop a sense that they are failures and disappointments if they do not prove their worth through achievements and success. As a result, they're likely to have a fear of making mistakes and failing.
I feel like that might be a fear of maybe somebody was a little too harsh with the discipline.
Yeah, no kidding.
Which I guess would also equal not loved.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Dismissing personal achievement. Those who do not receive enough love in their childhood are more likely to dismiss or downplay their own achievements or successes. This is usually due to the fact that they do not have a strong sense of self-worth or self-esteem, so they struggle with acknowledging the positive qualities and skills within themselves.
There's also people that just, you perceive it as an achievement, and for them it is a goal.
Yeah.
This is what I set out to do, so I got more to do. I'm glad other people respect what I've done, but, like, I'm not excited yet.
Yeah, I mean, people that honestly, I have like one friend that's like that. But, you know, he struggles with depression and stuff. But I know a boatload of people who just say it all the time. It's like, stop saying that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that is a big deal. You know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know, like, just I don't know why you're downplaying it, but whatever.
Right. Just quit. Again, habits that you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child. Obsessive self-reliance. As kids, we're naturally dependent on the adults around us to cater to our wants and needs. But if our parents were present enough to fulfill this essential role, we are likely to become excessively self-reliant, believing that if we don't take care of ourselves, no one else will.
Well, I don't think it's a whole. I think they read too much into it. Like, if that's your thing, maybe. I like being self-reliant because I like being self-reliant.
Right.
I don't want to have to need other people for things, because at that point, to me, that just seems sad.
If I take over something, I know it's going to get done, or it's not going to get done,
or it's
and
not,
why.
right.
And I know the quality of which it's going to be done. I know how I like things done. I want them done this way.
Right.
I know how to do that best.
That's exactly it.
Right? Avoiding eye contact.
Wow.
Feelings of shame and unworthiness are sadly common among those who didn't get the love that they deserved as children. This can create a barrier to intimacy that can result in the individual attempting to avoid eye contact to protect themselves and their vulnerable side.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, eye contact is kind of weird.
Yeah, it depends how long you hold it.
How long you hold it, who you're talking to.
Right.
Are you eating a banana?
Licking soft serve.
Right.
Staring at Taryn.
Right.
I also, honestly, like, I don't know, like, if your wife or Thrill's wife's talking to me, like, I'll look her in the eye, but I'm not going to, like, stare at her.
Right.
Like, after a while, it's even weird. Like, even in here, right? Like, Mike and I, right, like, you know, okay, we all made eye contact.
Pretty
like,
much.
Right, like, I don't have to stare at Thrill the entire time he talks.
Right, you
But
connect.
you want to.
Well, I get lost there, dude.
I
Your
know.
dreamy eyes.
Get lost in my. Get
Miles,
lost
you have
in
nice
your red eyes
too, bud.
Thank you.
Mike, you're suck.
I know, bud.
We have crappy eye.
Well, and it's just, my problem is if I stare into people's eyes, I start reading too much, and then I forget about what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because there have been too many times I have had conversations with people where I've stared them in the eyes, and then they just kind of glaze over a little bit, like, damn it!
I know.
I mean, I'll double down sometimes. You're having a hard conversation. I can sit here and stare as long as you can. like, I know it's just as uncomfortable, but
Right.
what are we going to do?
But you're right. There is a difference between making the connection, like I'm listening to what it is that you're saying, and now I'm just kind of staring at you.
Yeah.
We're glazed over here. Habits. Easy. Habits that you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child. Sarcasm as a defense mechanism.
I always use sarcasm.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it wasn't loved. I just like it.
No, I know my parents didn't love me. I use sarcasm because most of the conversation... that's not true. A lot of the conversations you have I find very stupid or vapid. So you just use sarcasm just to entertain yourself.
Pretty much.
Or it makes other people chuckle.
Right. I like making people
If they
laugh.
understand you're being sarcastic, yeah.
I mean, I could use humor as a defense mechanism. It's like because my mom didn't love me.
She didn't love you, Ted.
I made fun a lot as a kid.
Right.
And I couldn't fight everybody. I wasn't good at it. Learn how to make some jokes.
Enjoying sarcasm obviously doesn't guarantee that your parents didn't love you. However, if you find yourself using humor and sarcasm as a defense mechanism to protect your vulnerable side, this could be an indicator that you don't feel safe enough to openly express your feelings and needs to others. So it's basically,
come on,
you're not actually saying what you believe and what you think and what you feel. So you're just making a joke. You're playing it off.
Mm-hmm. But most people understand you probably mean the opposite.
Right.
Right.
And you can hear the person that uses sarcasm. You know, you can have a very direct conversation with somebody like, no, tell me what it is that you're feeling. And then they'll play it off with the sarcastic joke like,
sure.
All right, you're locked up. You're locked up. I don't know how to pull it out of you, but there you go. Habits that you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child: escapism.
Escapism?
If you commonly find yourself fantasizing, daydreaming, or attempting to escape your thoughts and feelings using movies or series, this could be a sign of neglectful childhood.
It could be. It could also be a sign that you are aware of the world around you.
Right.
And that's why people need... It's like taking a vacation.
Exactly.
Straight up, I'm making an escape.
This has nothing to do with my childhood. That's
nothing.
This has to do with my present.
Right. You know what? I think that's 100% right. Like, if you have to go and sift through the news every day, which we do before the show, but on the weekends, I don't, because it is horrible. It is awful. It's populated by idiocy all the time. Everything's caustic. So, yeah, when we get a break, it's like, I'm not reading that crap. I know what it is.
Because we also don't have to read all of it.
Right.
We don't have to read a fraction of what it is that we actually read.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. We're just constantly told that we need to be afraid, we need to be angry, we need to hate each other.
One of the two. One of those three things you must be. But the thing with escapism, like, they've been performing, Shakespeare days long before that. I don't think it's because these people weren't loved. It's because you kind of enjoy seeing something that's not your problem.
Right.
And you're entertained, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, escapism to me is entertainment.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly.
A book, whatever.
Right, and more to your point, why do you think reality TV shows do so well? It's not because people love the characters on there, because they love drama that's not theirs.
That's exactly it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you love.
I'll even do it sometimes. I'll talk to a buddy, and if you're going through a tough time, be like, "So with your wife, who's she hating right now?" Right. And he's like, "What?" I'm like, I want to hear other people's crap that I have no part of.
Right. I think.
Or when you go to a family function, let's say you go to a family function with a buddy, right? Not there with a girlfriend. I have nothing tied to the family.
Right.
It's great.
100%.
If the aunt and uncle want to tell me why they don't like the cousin, I'm here for it.
That was a question that I asked, when I was doing those Go Lives a while back, is where are you getting your drama right now? Because everybody absorbs the drama. Right now, football, full of drama. Oh, my God, so-and-so's going to this
100%.
team.
And
huge.
We love it as guys. It's like, yeah. I mean, there is sports. There's an obvious winner and loser. But, right now, this is the off season. This is the drama part. I like in F1, there's a part where the drivers might switch team. They literally call it the silly season.
My son literally texted me about 2 minutes before we came back on the air during that break to tell me about another Raven that signed with another team.
Right.
I mean, he's all about this drama.
Yeah, and I got to do
It's a backup quarterback, but still,
none of it matters, but it's awesome in that moment.
Right, I got to run some errands after work, make some dinner. Around 8:39, I'm excited to go put on a show.
Yes!
So I've been getting into the series so I can escape.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I'm just going to watch this show.
Do you guys have that friend that you talk to that always seems to have something going on and you're just riveted by what in the world is going on in their life?
Sure.
My God, my coworker, absolutely. Yes, tell me more, please. I want to know. Habits you probably
it is very annoying when you're dating somebody, but I can listen to women hate on other coworkers.
You're damn right.
Yeah, you're right. That other blonde woman is a bitch.
Can't believe she always has her boobs hanging out of her top. I was on my wife's like,
what
oh
a
my God.
slut.
We're at a restaurant or something. Look at the way her boobs are spilling out. And I don't have the heart to say, I'm one step ahead of you, man, right?
That's why
I have
I'm
in
not
fact
in a
been looking at
relationship.
her. Yeah.
I know it, because I'm like, I don't care. I just don't care.
Don't give a damn.
It's their personal life. I don't care.
Habits that you probably
you guys
developed.
should wrestle about it.
right now.
In the mud.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Miles has a bucket of water.
Honey, that's a nice blouse. Take your top off. You don't want to get that dirty. Habits you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child. Self-isolation. Pretty much. You're just, all right. But even then, I feel like that's more and more just our society these days. It's like, people suck. I want to just go back and do my own thing for a while. I don't care about you. Difficulty expressing needs. Yeah,
I mean, look, there's a lot of problems in this world. I think a huge part of it is people deciding what's a want and a need. So, I don't think that's that could be those people, but that's a lot of people.
Perfectionism. Heaven forbid you try to do your damned best.
Yeah.
No, you weren't loved as a child.
It's the only reason you're successful is because your parents hate you.
That's right. Maybe now they'll love me.
We called CPS because you are a straight A student. That's the theory we're working with.
God, this poor child. But then the number one habit,
like the Browns and the Oregon Ducks, they've never won a championship because all those players, all those coaches were never loved.
That's right.
No, they haven't won because they are loved, Ted. They're not striving for perfection, you see.
But the number one habit that you probably developed if you weren't loved as a child, seeking approval from others. Those who don't receive the approval and validation they needed from their parents as kids are likely to seek these essential resources out from others in their teens and adulthood. If you find yourself struggling to make decisions without the reassurance of others and people-pleasing to feel valued, it's likely your parents didn't show you as much love as you needed.
All right. That's it. Man, people are going to feel bad about Mom, you never loved me. Because, I work hard.
And I want people to like me.
And I like entertainment. And I don't want people to hate me.
Right.
You suck, Mom. You ruined my life.
Thanks, Mom.
Enjoy that. Your parents all hate you. A man in Taiwan went to great lengths to collect some insurance money, Miles.
What did he do?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Nature has developed a lot of natural defenses. Take it from a little bug like me. I've pretty much seen them all. Porcupines got quills, snakes got venom, and me, I got camouflage. Nature's always finding ways to support life, like elderberries. Nature's Way extracted the best of the berry, tossed in vitamin C and D and zinc, and put them into a yummy immune-supporting gummy. Nature's Way Sambucus Gummies. Powerful immune support inspired by nature. Nature's Way.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From from executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Nature has developed a lot of natural defenses. Take it from a little bug like me. I've pretty much seen them all. Porcupines got quills, snakes got venom, and me, I got camouflage. Nature's always finding ways to support life, like elderberries. Nature's Way extracted the best of the berry, tossed in vitamin C and D and zinc, and put them into a yummy immune-supporting gummy. Nature's Way Sambucus Gummies. Powerful immune support inspired by nature. Nature's Way.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And The Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast Ms. Julie Burdock of Sydney, Australia.
Julie?
Yeah, Julie. Now, she's a real estate agent there, and she had a 4-bedroom, $2 million house to sell. That means she's going to make some good coin on this. So she was preparing it for an open house when she noticed that the current renters had left some wet blankets on a deck to air dry. So the owner of the home, he's renting it out. It is 4 bedrooms, so there were 4 people living in the house. They tidied up, but if you've ever been to an open house, everything looks spotless. And the real estate agents, they go through great trouble just to hide any kind of clutter. So she saw the blankets drying on the deck outside. She's like, I'm not going to do that. So instead, she threw the sheets on a shelf inside. She folded them up, put them on a shelf in a bedroom. So when you walked in, it looked a little more natural. But she was kind, so to help them dry, she understood what they were trying to do. She turned down this big bright light that was above them. Yeah, well, the blankets ended up catching on fire due to the heat from the light. Long story short, she burned the entire house down to the ground, including
how many million?
Just $2 million.
2 million.
4 bedrooms, and keep in mind, it was not an empty house. There were 4 renters who had all of their crap inside. It is all gone. Put it in a nutshell, she's in trouble. I mean, she tried to do the right thing, but yeah, burn the house down to hide wet blankets from prospective buyers. By the way, no one bidding on the house now. So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Thrill Hill, could you please, everyone? Now, Profile This is played.
Sure as hell can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Randy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Randy, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
That is fantastic news. Today, you have your choice of one of 3 stories. I believe all of these 3 are the OGs. We have The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did somebody find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Let's go with Interior Decorating.
The penis. Yeah, not the butt today. Let's see here. Doctors had to perform an emergency surgery on a man in Australia after he lodged something inside of his penis for sexual pleasure. Now, the incident was considered so unusual that it was written up as a case report in a recent issue of International Journal of Surgery. And Randy, I'm sure you have a subscription to the International Journal of Surgery. Now, the swimsuit edition knockout. Now, according to the paper, which is titled An Unusual Urethral Foreign Body, the 7-year-old arrived at the emergency department of the Canberra hospital with a bleeding penis following self-insertion of the object into the urethra to achieve sexual gratification. Now, it said that he put the object inside 12 hours before he showed up for autoerotic stimulation, but it became stuck. Doctors called it a rare and unusual incident. The object was not visible, and multiple retrieval methods were contemplated, but in the end, success was achieved by using forceps and, as they say, copious lubrication. And a man who was put under general anesthesia, he was sent home. Now, the question is, what did this freaky deaky dude put in his urethra Franklin? Was it a chopstick? Was it a candy corn? Was it a fork? Or was it an Allen wrench? So chopstick, candy corn, fork, or Allen wrench?
Oh, what do you guys think?
I prefer to do all four at once, but that's just me.
Do you know what kind of fork?
I don't know.
Well, a tuning fork.
I'm going to go chopstick, Randy.
Yeah.
I'm going chopstick all the way.
That's a thing, man.
I did not know that. I'll give it a try.
Yep.
You know what I tune it to? D.
So, Ted, you going chopstick?
Let's go with some candy corn.
I'm going to go with the fork.
Going the fork. Randy, what are you doing?
He's doing candy corn, which is better than eating it.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're going to find out what you got lodged up there. Was it a chopstick, candy corn, a fork, or an Allen wrench next?
That was a tease.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: interior decorating on profile. This doctor's operated on a man because he had something stuck in his urethra. 7 years old. He obviously said he did it for sexual gratification, admitted to doing it. Question is, what did doctors have to remove that was causing the blood and irritation? Was it a chopstick, candy corn, a fork, or an Allen wrench?
And Randy, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with Miles Montgomery. You want the old chopstick?
I did.
That's not a bad guess, because I've had a story where a man inserted a chopstick into his penis, and like anything, he couldn't get it back out. Randy, you went with the candy corn. Now, although I still agree with Miles, better than eating them. And Ted, you went with the fork. I don't know if it was a tuning fork or not, but...
A fork?
A fork.
That's impressive.
Correct. Well, the tuning fork... We have an interesting job. Some of our listeners have different jobs. Sure. I follow one of them on social media, and that's where I learned about the tuning fork thing.
Yes. Not personal experience?
No. It looks painful as hell, but I think some people enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you like what you like, man.
Now for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got Stephen Colbert.
Okay.
The Jimmies.
Fallon and Kibble.
Seth Meyers. Writers. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right there. The Tightlights guys have teams of talented writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Yet another photo from the royal family has been digitally enhanced. It's nice to know that even the royal family has trouble getting a photo where everyone in the family looks okay. And you just look like you're on the beach.
Fallon. The Ted Smith.
Fallon.
Yet another photo from the royal family was just found to have been digitally enhanced. It's nice to know that even the royal family has trouble getting a photo where everyone in the family looks okay. It's like, can everyone just make a normal face? Can you just make a normal face? Like you're happy, you're on vacation. Come on.
New data shows the U.S. has dropped out of the top 10 happiest countries in the world. To be fair, Disney World could only carry us so long.
The Ted Smith.
Yeah. Writers.
Damn it.
Happy place on earth, Ted.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament has started, and it's that magical time of year when the coworker who knows the least about sports wins $900 in your March Madness pool.
I'll say either Ted or Fallon.
Let's say Ted.
Kibble.
College basketball tournament. This is that magical time of the year when the coworker who knows the least about sports wins $900 in your March Madness pool.
Very true.
Outside of the U.S., only 3 countries in the world have... Outside of the U.S., only 3 countries in the world have constitutions that guarantee the right to bear arms. So be careful what countries you wear tank tops in.
The Ted Smith. Seth?
That was me.
Okay. Yeah.
I know. It's tough because Thrill naturally kind of just turns left and looks at me.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like, sometimes when I tell those jokes, I'm like, Jesus, don't laugh yet.
Bare arms.
Bare arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, I was like, yeah, tank tops. I mean, is there might be places you're not allowed to wear a tank top. Not restaurants, but I mean,
right.
Municipalities or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure some countries, people always find out when they try, like, I'm under arrest for what now?
Not Florida.
Yeah, that also feels like one of those weird things, like you're just in some town God forgot about in the Midwest. It's like, can't wear tank tops.
Why you wearing a tank top?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, what? Why you wearing a tank top? Reach for my gun.
We used to have theme nights. I'm sure DeMatha still does, right? So, like, if you're, for the basketball games, right? So you'd have, like, toga night, this and that.
Okay.
So I remember at one point, I just remember specifically the announcement was, don't forget, tonight's theme is white tank tops. Gentlemen, do not refer to them by the other name.
Oh, yeah.
Because we used to always call them wife beaters.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It was like, dude, wife beater night. And I mean, it was rare that the principal hopped on there with the stern restraint, right? That's like a parent. When he goes through the whole school and goes, gentlemen, it's like, oh, we've screwed up. All right. You guys remember Jenny McCarthy, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. She's married to a Wahlberg now.
Yes, Donnie.
Donnie. Oh, hey, it's me. Oh, no. They're from Boston.
Yeah.
It's me, Donnie Wahlberg. I don't know. I can't say that R. Anyhow, but Jenny McCarthy also, right? Like, I remember her on, I think she was a host on Singled Out on MTV. Like, she's done a lot of stuff. She's been around for years.
Yeah.
But she's, she was a Playboy Playmate. I would say her and Pamela Anderson, probably two of the, in my world, 2 of the most popular Playmates of all time. So she was on that show, Watch What Happens Live, and basically they were just kind of asking her about like all the stuff about the Playboy Mansion and and her time. What did she see?
Jenny, what do you remember from your Playboy days?
Oh my God, where do I start?
Really? Was it a positive experience for you?
For me, because Hef was married at the time, and there was that big Playboy Scandal TV show special.
Yes.
They asked me to be part of it constantly. I'm like, listen, I didn't have that experience. Pamela didn't have that experience.
Right.
We were at a different time, I think.
Right.
I was there when his kids were throwing throwing bacon at me in high chairs.
Right.
It was like the perfect time.
Yes.
But there was so much still sex going on with gross celebrities in the grotto areas and stuff like that. I went to the party, so I got to see a lot of that action because there was only hot women and the ugliest dudes. They were really, really old. It was like Viagra Central.
Damn. Okay. Sounds about right, though.
Yeah, and look, right, in retrospect, you can look at a lot of things. But, also to Hugh Hefner's defense, when he started those Playboy clubs and Playboy, the idea was that they were beautiful women, but they were almost so beautiful that you could never be with them.
Of course.
So it's obviously the mansion's going to be filled with people he knows, and you're going to have celebrities like that. And, to this day, beautiful women help things out. You know what I mean?
They do.
I don't really, I hate the Cowboys, right? I love the Cowgirls.
Of course you do.
Right? The cheerleaders are great. I don't know. Go to MMA, a boxing event. You have ring card girls, right? Go to anything. I have a hard time ever being I know some people might say, sorry, if there's hot chicks there, it's just better.
Yeah. It does. If you go to a restaurant, 9 times out of 10, the receptionist or whatever you want to call them, hostess.
The host.
Right, good looking.
Yeah.
Right? This is a factual thing. This is what people do. Hiring practices, you name it.
Right. Even when you talk about restaurants as well, look, I could show you a picture of 2 of my brother's friends. One guy named Rich, one guy named Doug. Right? If you had to guess, it wouldn't be hard to figure out that Rich ran the host stand. It was the main host at the Fridays. And Doug worked in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even the dudes that work the front of the room. Look at bartenders. I don't think bartenders have to be attractive.
Right.
But generally, you know what I mean? You go somewhere when's the last time you went to a fancy cocktail lounge and the dude didn't have a dope mustache?
Right, something.
Cool hair. You know what I mean? So for that Playboy Mansion stuff, look, I get it. If I invite Mike over and he's can I bring 3 extra single hot women? Why are you asking?
Yeah, of course.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I know. Sorry. You know how the Smiths are. We get worked up in March. I'm in the rut, Miles.
In the rut.
In the rut.
Yes.
Obviously, I'll be talking about this a lot. We were talking about how the NCAA tournament technically started last night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, I have gone blue in the face saying this since they expanded to 68 teams. I think it's ridiculous. I think I said it yesterday. They're not going to. Those teams don't have a real shot. We saw that with Virginia. They get knocked off last night. So, even other coaches are saying, hey, do we need to keep it going? And, look, you're going to run into this with the football playoff, right? They're going to expand to 12. Then people are going to bitch and moan that the 13th team didn't get in. And it's I'm just a fan of kind of some old school stuff. All right, there's not as many at-large bids. We could, stop making 1,000 extra tiny conferences for basketball.
Right.
But to me, if the NCAA says, you know what, Miles, your school's fine, you could start your own conference. If Miles's college wins that tournament, they get a bid. They won their conference title.
Exactly.
So a lot of people upset with that. But the actual tournament starts tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. If you're a sports fan, great times. Don't forget to get your frozen peas if you're getting a vasectomy.
That's right.
And send me an email. Let me know how that went.
Yeah.
So the brackets are being passed around. They're saying, basically, if you can hear my voice right now, you need to get that bracket in.
Yes.
Okay? You got to have it in by 9 a.m. The game started at 9 a.m. out here for us. The games are on all the CBS network of stuff. So TBS, TNT, True TV, and CBS.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with True TV, I would just say congratulations. If after a game, you now know why we love the Impractical Joker.
Yeah.
They show a lot of that. It's
They
a
do.
nonstop marathon.
It is. That's another good show we were talking about if you just want to kind of veg out and watch something.
And
Because your mom didn't love you,
Family
Ted.
Guy. Family Guy and Impractical Jokers. They're always on. They can always just put you in a good mood.
In a new poll, 30% of Americans said they plan on doing a bracket this year. Around the room, quickly. Thrill, do you have a bracket?
I don't.
Miles?
No.
Neither do I. Mike?
Yep.
See, Miles, I thought you'd be the only one.
I used to do it, but, we all the people that did it in the office are out of the office, so to speak.
Well, in the morning show, too.
Nobody had a bracket?
There are 4 brackets on the other side of that wall right there.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, they did them?
All hung up there, yeah.
Huh.
Shocking. Taryn Daly has the Cougs going far.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're in a bracket, Washington State, credit to the Cougs, man, hell of a year in basketball. But you got to remember, part of a good bracket is you have to use your head, not your heart.
That is for sure.
People don't want to hear that. So 30% of people said they're doing that. Many of the people are putting money on the brackets. Ever it's just like an office pool that you throw in $20. They asked people that said, do you consider that type of gambling? And like 51% were like, yeah, I guess.
I mean, anything. Look, you're gambling if you put $1 down on whether it's going to be heads or tails, right? It's gambling, but to me, it's a little different.
Yeah, and look, I'll just say it. The state of Washington sucks for the gambling sites. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just over in Oregon, like, I'm not a big sports bettor, but, like, this weekend, I would sit there and put, $5, $10 bets on random games because you could do it through the app, and it's pretty simple. But, the legislation in this state, you can't do it. So that part kind of buzzed me out. But I'm with you. Technically, it's gambling. I don't think throwing $20 into an office pool, like, you're not what the commercials about gambling abuse are.
And if you have a chance, man, go to a sports book at a casino.
That's not a bad call.
If you have the day off.
And most of the casinos around here now have them.
Yeah. And they're nice. And the multiple games are on. Right. And they have chicken wings. And people come up and serve you beer. It's all there.
Yeah. You know what, Miles? You say that. This is kind of weekend where you hunker down with some buckets of beer.
And chicken wings.
And wings. Yep. You're right. They go hand in hand. Had both of them last Saturday. 1 in 3 Americans say they plan to follow the NCAA March Madness this year. It's unclear how many of them for the long haul or how many would drop out as soon as their brackets bust. Yeah, I mean, once your bracket's busted, which takes a minute, you might stop watching it. But on the other hand,
I don't know.
When you get to the hype of the Final Four and that weekend,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to matter a ton. Like, I mean, you'll start cheering for or against teams you don't even know.
You just want like a player on the team, like, I hope they lose.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I don't think I'm a mean person, but like, I could watch almost any sporting event and come up with some reason that I have a team I either don't like or a team I like. And it might just be colors. Hell, maybe one of them sponsored by a chicken company, Mouse. I don't know any that are. Let's see. This is kind of a super serious and super sad story.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen it. There's a documentary that came out quite on the set, The Dark Side of Kids TV.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I inadvertently ended up watching that. Was it last night or the night before?
Did you really?
I'm flipping the wife's asleep on the sofa. I'm trying to find something, and I'd heard about it, and I'd never watched any of these shows. That said, you're familiar with 85% of the people that were, Miley Cyrus, all this kind of thing. So I'm like, all right, man, I'll watch it. Yeah, it is effed up, man. It is really, really, really messed up.
Yeah. And it's tough, too, right? Because it's easy to sit there and go, like, why would adults, you know what I mean, that don't have children always be around all these kid actors and everything? But then the sad part is right, that's why you're going to find this stuff in coaching, teaching, scouting, pastors. You know what I mean? These are...
Can't forget drag queens, Ted. That's the epicenter of it all.
But that's what is the word? Criminal. It's worse than that. But they prey on victims.
Sure.
They know how to do it. So like, right, this guy's in there, and some of the stuff like is really, really weird.
I can't remember the name of the guy that mostly this documentary. I don't know if it's multiple
Dan
documentaries. So he basically so a few other people come up that may have been up to no good. But one thing, every now adult but former child star that they talked to, all of them brought this guy up. To his defense, he just said, it's all ridiculous. And I'm like, okay. I mean, look, people can accuse you and they're not necessarily telling the truth. And I don't know. I was not there. But I'm like, 100% of the people that they interviewed brought you up. And then there's, like I said, a few other adults that got brought into it. But it was all about this guy. And everyone they talked to was like, oh, yeah.
Right. So now, right, he's saying, I definitely owe some people a strong apology.
Yeah, more than that, bro.
And right, this is another one of those things, too, where it's like, I don't know all the accusations. I don't know how far it went, but it's like, either way, just stop being creepy around kids, and little girls and stuff. Like, because there's plenty of people that worked on these shows who were just doing it because it was a cash cow and maybe cared about some of these poor kids.
Well,
I would
even
also
some
say,
of the other people that they interviewed, like one of the main directors for all those Nickelodeon shows, was like, I didn't like this guy, so the kids would come to me, but the guy that they're accusing basically ran the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so to hear him talk about it, it's like, look, I never saw anything, but like anything, again, I directed these kids day after day after day after day doing all these different shows. And they all had the same thing to say. But once I said something, I was out. But the kids were coming to me for protection because they saw me every day, and we worked, 15 hours a day together. He's like, I don't like the guy. I don't trust the guy. And look, either every kid that I worked with for years on multiple shows is a liar, or he is. It's like, do the math.
Yeah, and you're either a predator or something's wrong in your brain. Like, if you're a full-grown adult, your friends shouldn't be children.
Right.
Leave the kids alone. There's a life lesson.
That's right. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. Headlines are coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Pennsylvania roads weren't bad enough already. Yesterday was a very crappy day. Meanwhile, 2 eagles get their talons entangled, but crows help them get away. Man soaks his feet in dry ice for 10 hours to try to get insurance money. Country bands musical vehicle horns to keep people from dancing funny. And a woman finds her missing wallet in a huge bag of trash. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
At our top story, we head over to Taiwan, where a couple university students thought of a brilliant way to collect a little coin. They spent the day riding on their motorcycles in the cold weather and were prepared to submit an insurance claim that one of the two of them had been afflicted with frostbite, requiring the equivalent of 1.3 million American dollars in damages and costs. But the pain had only just begun. In order to make a convincing claim, one of the two of them submerged both of his legs in a bucket of dry ice for 10 hours.
Did you read how he pulled that off?
Binding himself to a chair to avoid aborting the mission. With the idea that he would need to have both legs amputated. He went in knowing he was going to lose both of his legs.
Which is crazy, man.
And one part of the plan worked, and he did indeed have to have his legs amputated. But unfortunately for him, an investigation was launched and busted their insurance fraud scheme. And now the two are facing charges.
So you lost your legs and you're about to go to jail.
Right. You lost your legs, you're broke, and you're going to jail.
Jesus God.
Criminy.
Guys.
I mean, I suppose it speaks to a little bit of the desperation there, but damn.
Yeah, I know. Like, you literally lost both of your legs.
At one point, you do have to weigh the option, like, you're about to lose both your legs. Is this worth it?
Is the money worth it?
Yup. God. The fact that he had to have his buddy bind him to the chair
for
so that he didn't move.
10 hours.
Right.
God, man.
How much was it for?
A little over $1 million. And he was going to take a slightly larger percentage if he's got the loss. So say you split it, 70-30 even. All right, so he made maybe $720,000. Is it worth it? No.
I mean, not to me, but I don't know. The other guy just hated working that much. Hey, take my legs.
I won't need legs. I'll be rich. At the end of the day, too, 1.3. How far is it going to get you?
Where were they at?
Taiwan.
I don't know what time. I mean, U.S. is stupid expensive.
You're right.
Well documented, but I'm sure it goes a lot farther there than here, but still.
Right. Liquidated and moved to Mexico.
I guess.
Later. In other news, to Pennsylvania, where a truck accident created a nasty scene. PennDOT issued a report on their social media warning drivers that a truck had overturned on the highway and managed to spill quite a bit of its hull all over the roadway. Crews spent several hours cleaning up the mess, taking about 3 hours to get the road opened back up for traffic from the time of the incident. As far as the spilled contents goes, however, it's rather unsightly as it was moving a haul of manure from one place to another. No injuries were reported in the incident. That had to just reek. I don't know what kind of a day they had over there in Pennsylvania, but if it was any kind of warm, that sucked.
That is a strong point, man.
Right? Just
it gets
sitting there,
hot there.
cooking it all there. Yeah.
Smells like S. Well, it is.
Right. And then the manure.
Thank God he spilled manure and covered the smell of PA.
Did you see the picture of the cars actually driving through the middle of it?
Yes.
And they cleared their own path. I was like, oh boy, car wash time.
Oh yeah.
Looks like a toilet that they zoomed out of. That's just
I mean, it was all over the road.
It was, dude. It was foul. Speaking of spills, we stay right here at home in Auburn, where Highway 18 had to be closed off for an extended period. Same story. A truck got into a nasty accident while going over a bridge in Auburn and spilled its contents all over the road, causing a 3-mile backup at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. Crews worked for hours and were reportedly still trying to get the diesel spill cleaned up at 1:30 in the afternoon, finally opening the road back up at about 7 o'clock last night.
Wow.
No injuries were reported. Trooper Rick Johnson posted photos of the incident on X, and it's nasty. It's a bad-looking crash. Like, there was part of that trailer that was hanging out over the bridge. I know exactly where that bridge is at.
God, man.
And there's no escape either. You were there.
I was going to say, what I've been on that road. Like, yeah. You're just kind of like, all right.
Well, you're hosed. The Cambodian Prime Minister has taken to social media with an announcement. He has ordered provincial authorities to take immediate action against motorists that they catch driving around with musical car horns.
I like that. He doesn't say I'm mad at you. It just says, hey, get out of the way.
Right.
It's kind of more friendly. It's like the teet instead of the ah.
We have gotten to a point where I'm like, we do need to have two different horns on there. Like, hey, pardon me, dude, the light's green.
Sure, right.
And then like, dude,
the F are you doing?
Right, you cut me off.
Why does he want to ban musical car horns?
The comment on Facebook indicates that this comes as a direct response to a video that was shared on social media featuring citizens and children dancing what he believed to be inappropriately to the tune of the musical horn.
Oh my God.
They're dancing in the streets.
Jesus, man. Dancing in the streets.
Because of musical car horns.
Right. Which I've never seen a musical car horn last long enough to where I'm like, let me just break out a jig.
Yeah, no, by the time you'd want to dance, it's done.
I mean, I've only seen it in TV and movie shows.
Yeah.
TV shows and movies.
There you go.
You'd say TV, movies, and movie shows.
TVs and movie shows. When I head on down to the Pizza Hut.
Oh, God.
Miles, you drop me off at the Walmart?
Sure.
And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Over to New York, where a needle was found in a haystack. Sanitation crews got a call from a Staten Island woman that she had managed to lose her wallet, believing that she had somehow dropped it in the trash, and it was picked up earlier. They were able to halt the truck, dump it out, and sift through the garbage, and did manage to find her wallet. They've since
They just didn't tell her.
Oh, there was no money in it.
That'd be my thing.
Men's Room IPA continues to spread about the Northwest. We got a couple of texts today. It's at the Total Wine and More in Northgate.
Yeah.
Dylan's Corner Market in Yelm had a couple of emails there. It's at the Food Mart Chevron in Carlsberg or Squim. And then also our friend Ashley found it at Cigar Land in Renton.
Okay.
Fantastic, guys.
Sounds like a Cuban amusement park.
There's also a comprehensive list of locations on the Men's Room page of KISW.com about to be updated because we got a slew of new locations.
We did.
Just today.
If you're buying it at Cigar Land, snag me a Macanudo.
There you go. Careful, they will. Men's Room Sports.
I'm just kidding.
A funny story concerning the U.S. Open Cup, an amateur team by the name of El Farolito, named after a Mission-style burrito shop in San Francisco, managed to upset a decent team. The second squad for the Portland Timbers, beating them 2-1.
Burritos beat the Timbers.
Let's go. Well done. What's on?
Just keep being you.
What's on tonight? You've got hockey on TNT, NBA on ESPN.
I don't watch hockey, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Ted. Law and Order's on. The Trailblazers are on over on Root hosting the Clippers, and you've got a couple of college basketball games over on True TV. As far as your weather, the forecast has changed a little bit with a chance of rain dropping below 30% for tonight into tomorrow, and isn't expected to actually rain until tomorrow night. Meanwhile, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies and the temperatures into the mid-50s tomorrow. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Big Dummy, and the head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes.
Yes, indeed. It's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
yada yada.
And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.